Mics, please.
Our Jeopardy man dash, but we'll bring it back every so often. Maybe I'll have Johnny Gilbert introduce the paper report for me every so often as well.
You had Johnny Gilbert every night when you came out.
Yes,
I thought that was very good.
Of course.
And you're always most gracious to everybody, and the questions are a little silly.
They're fun.
It's all fun. It's all
They're great.
It's all fun.
Anyway,
It's
great interview going, so keep watching. Joe Buck is up this week.
Okay.
And they got Matamonia still strong. 13 games in.
But congratulations.
Sort of like
He's a PhD candidate in New Haven, Connecticut.
a little school there.
I urge people to go on YouTube. It's an 18-minute version. You can see every single life. And then David has a 3-minute version of the impact on his life. And I think everyone should watch that too. It's all available on YouTube. Just put in favor of Jeopardy.
I'm just taking them everywhere I go. There it is. All right, we got nothing coming up for you 5 minutes from now. Stay with us on Squawk on the Street. And remember, by the way, you can catch us anytime, anywhere. You can listen to and follow the Squawk on the Street Opening Bell
Mute
podcast.
your mic.
Check. Equity strategist Tom Lee on Tech's Honest Movers, plus finance CEO. The challenges facing the growing crypto industry. Today, watch or listen live on the CWC app.
Morning.
Municipal bonds don't
Hey, Jerry, can you meet us again?
Yeah.
Most people don't find it all that exciting, but if you're looking for the potential for consistent income that's federally tax-free, now is an
Thank you.
Morning there, Jerry.
Looks like Tesla's pushing up right here.
Tesla had an upgrade, Jerry.
Yeah.
Hey, can you mute everybody's mics? A lot of stuff was going on.
Yeah, it's not chaos in it. All right, guys. Tesla breaks 712. It's gonna be long. More than likely, probably gonna gap fill just a little bit before turn around. So you can wait till it gap fills, or actually it'll probably stop around 704.88, or it might just shoot straight up. Who knows? Anyway.
I think we got the best approach now,
The good
though.
thing is you can go right
I
back.
think it's going to give us our best chance than just being all over the frickin' place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because consolidating on top of that pivot high on the 4-hour daily. It's in a pretty good spot. All right, Etsy breaks. Let's see. We got a shooter down a month. Shooter last week on Etsy. So Etsy probably gonna be short this morning. If Etsy crosses 175.31, it's definitely gonna be short.
This does get above 9.
It's Monday. You gotta let them open. You look at Roku. Roku had a shit week last week, and on the month and the weekly, it's been in a pretty good downtrend. So it's gapped up this morning. Probably gonna feel like gap regain quick. Bounce on the 4-hour and the daily. We could get expansion and push back up. This could be a pullback to the upside here. So it can go either way. Let's look at Amazon. We're looking for any kind of consolidation, any move consolidation. Amazon is still kind of stuck in the middle. It needs to break 33.51. Go long. Baba had some bad news. They're investigating for rapes or something at the company. Over 6,000 claims filed against the owner of the company. That's a lot of news. Bring that thing up.
Jerry, could you check Beyond Meat pre-market?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Baba gap down. Let's take a look at that. It's dying. Baba could break down here and go all the way down to 179 and beyond. Baba's daily looks like shit. let's look at the higher time frame first. Bob's been in, or Beyond's been in a kind of a downtrend and starting to pick back up. It could expand here and come back through. If it does, it could do a machine gun up to about 137. It needs a break. I wouldn't touch it unless it broke 125.36. So that's just me. I'd wait. I'd rather give up $3. Looks like it's trying to go short this morning.
All right. Good luck, everyone.
Tesla's gonna be short for gap fill right here. Tesla short. Out of Tesla. Set back up. Tesla well filling them gaps that quick. If it goes back green here, it'll be ready green. It'll be one again. Tesla's long here. D-Dog, PayPal's pushing up this morning. Costco, PMG, Lulu's long, PMG. Target's gonna be 415. Airbnb trying to come up. Amazon shop shooting up here. Yeah. We'll get some kind of pullback here on shop to be long. Novak's is ripping. Holy shit. We need some kind of pullback. If Amazon goes back to green here, if it breaks its high, it'll be long. Roku's trying to PMG up. She's trying to move up here too. All right, it's a pullback. Damn. Market's going crazy. I tell you what, you gotta be quick this morning. It seems like it's trying to PMG back up here. All right, guys. Roku breaks 180.50. It's gonna be long. Target 181.60. They've been in a pretty good downtrend here lately, so it's not gonna be long. All right, Roku's trying to break back to the short side here. Ooh, shit, and shop went back short. Gotta be quick. All right, Roku breaks a short here, or the low of the day, or low of Friday. It's gonna be short. It goes short at 390.67. Roku's fixing to go short.
Smaller account SoFi has a lot of volume.
What does?
SoFi.
Oh yeah. Roku goes short. Target's gonna be 382.50. Ooh, AMD trying to go short. AMD got a long way back down. Costco's still pushing. There's a lot of red and green. Green and red moves really quickly. AMD's gonna be short for breaks Fridays low. And it's coming down. We had a nice pullback. That Momo shooter's really nice on the daily. Very nice. AMD breaks 109.80 short. Burnup's pushing here. Amazon Momo shooter back down. As long as they come out of range, it's good. When they're outside the pivot high and pivot low last week, it's a good sign. When they start going back through it, that's when you have problems. That's when you start getting shit. Hell, we missed Baba short. So we can't get an inch in a Baba here. It's got a small pullback right here on a 5-minute. Let's see if we can get back in it. This thing can go down to 179 if it wants to. Baba's short right this second. Baba short. This is going to fill that gap to the downside.
Microsoft.
Baba short right to it here. The video's fixing to go short. My gosh, the market's tanking, boys. Baba short here. Add to it. You keep on the video here. Hopefully it breaks through a little bit and then bounces. SQ short. The video. The video is bouncing off 15 pivot here. Could reject. Could have made a higher low right here on the weekly. Could come all the way back down. We saw Tesla do that after the split. All right, here. Here's your key point.
ENTX is pushing.
All right, thank you. The video breaks 202.11. It's long or short. VNTX. Nice, starting to wake out on that last candle. Ooh, it's beautiful on the weekly. 212 could be a continuation. Nice. It looks really good. Shit. Higher time frame, the gorgeous. Breaks that 434 range. It's really going to go. Nice ticker, man. Shit. That's the key. That'd be my first target is at 433.90. I would exit and then re-enter on the break. But it could touch it from jack. Make a double tap on it. Okay. Sir.
Pins is puking, P-I-N-S.
Yeah, he missed. Baba. Sheesh. Yes. Shopify. Amazon short. AMD short. Yeah, BNTX that first week there scares me. AMD just went short. Well, it went short 2 seconds ago. When it broke the low of Friday, right here. Let's pull it up right quick. I'm already done for the day. So right here on the 5-minute, this is Friday's low here. So it's been in a pretty good downtrend on the higher time frames. It made a peak, starting to come back down. Every time it's some pullback, there's where it went short, right here. As soon as it crossed the low of this candle right here, there's your entry, right there. Every time this thing pulls, it opens and pulls back inside, then goes back red, it's gonna be short again. 10 o'clock, scalp it. You can stay in. I don't care. What you want to do is go to higher time frames and look for your entry stuff or your targets. So you see that shooter? That's a Momo shooter to the downside right there on Friday. It's gorgeous. Next target 108.17, and it could PMG all the way down. Who knows? I doubt it's going to die too much. That's trying to come back up here. Baba, pew 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 pew. I am in Baba still and Tesla long. Tesla needs to make a new high here. See that red and green right there on the 5-minute? That's a lot of volume coming in. Boom, there she goes. She's shooting out. Tesla long. Sir, we meeting green. I may hold Tesla most of the day. It's got this really choppy ass pattern. Hell, I might hold it all week. Who knows? There goes AMD again. Amazon breaks this low of the day. It's gonna be short. So Amazon breaks this low here. It's gonna be short. Target 3,300. First target's gonna be 33.14. $15 away. What are we looking at? We're looking at this consolidation right here Friday, where it chopped sideways. It went high, went outside. So it tried to go higher, couldn't. It came right back down. It could turn around and go back through this range here as it starts to chop. But definitely, if it breaks 33.28, it's short. I knew it was going long. I'll give some buy day. Where'd it go long? It went long right here and it broke a 5-minute pivot. And plus, it broke this consolidation right here on the 15th.
What about Marna?
Myrna, it looks really good. Novak is kind of pulling back right now. I always keep an eye on both of them when I'm trading Myrna. It don't look too bad right this second. It's 212 measured move on the 5-minute. Target's gonna be 443. It's long right this second. Myrna's gonna be long. Wait till it goes back solid green here. But that's a 312 continuation measured move. Target's gonna be 443. There's Tesla. Go, Tesla, go. Tesla's long here. Bobby kicked ass, got kicked out of there for a nice profit. And Tesla's to the moon. And Tesla go. See, Tesla's got that Green New Deal where Biden said that he wants 50% electric vehicles by so-and-so day. If you look right here on the 5-minute too on Tesla, you hear me talking about this all the time. This gap fills about, on a gap up, they fill about 50%. All right, they fill 50%. So it opened here, it came down, filled about 50% this gap. All right, if you also look right here, this candle here, this wick is higher than this one. All right, and it's coming up. Stop would be right here on it. And if it goes back green right here, if it goes back solid, it'd be a point to add to it. So if it comes back and closes above this at any time, it's going to be an add.
What do you think about Beyond here, Jerry? After you finish your Tesla stuff.
Ooh, it's got a big giant wick on it. It's breaking out of the 60, which is a good sign here. It's starting to curl. If you look on the weekly, it's a 2 down, 2 up. The weekly target on this thing would be 129. It could PMG right up to it. So let's look. It needs across 127.10. 127.10 is your key level. Sir. D-Dog, Ken Hammer. Sava coming back up pretty fast here. Lulu coming down. Cost, Your B&B trying to come up. Autodesk trying to go short here. Baba was a nice short. You got in it before. And if it breaks the low again, it'll be short again. Quick $3. Needs across 192.70. Well, it needs to break out of this 60 pivot, this consolidation here. It'll really go in. Novak's going, and Murner's probably going to follow. They're both nice. Novak's is long right here. Forget. Novak's clear target on this thing right here. First target 203. And then it gap fills. Gap fills at 235. So Novak's is long right here. Novak's is long. It's a beautiful move. She's a beaut. Clean move. Breaks 200 is really going to go here. Novak. Beautiful 2-1-2 reversal on the 4 hours, coming right back through range. Kind of choppy on the weekly. Like a nice scalp though. I love that first 15-minute candle. I love when they go inside up. So I was long here. Etsy's inside, currently 15, trying to go back up. It breaks the high. It's going to be long. So I was breaking a 15 pivot and the 60 trying to go up. Keeping on 5 here to PMG. It's a hammer up, 2 down, 2 up hammer. CRWD trying to come up. CRWD is pretty strong last week. Come on, Tess, give me another push there. Come on, Tesla. Mobile hammer up here. If it breaks, it'll be another add point. There's volume on that thing. That last candle was incredible. D-Dog's coming up right now off a pin hammer, 2 down, 2 up. So D-Dog is long for gap fill. Target is 131. D-Dog is long.
Beyond's looking good too. I jumped in a couple minutes ago.
Nice, nice. Beyond. D-Dog is long here, guys. Crowd is long. 3-2 up. Beyond looks really good here. It could PMG straight up. They got earnings coming up or something. The good thing about D-Dog is on that
I think
daily,
they just had
all of them really nice. First target's going to be 128.98. Just had a lot of stops to rip.
Yeah, I took some off the top.
Goes Tesla game, babies. Love me some Tesla. Got some of Tesla. Essie's 2-2 up. It's still actually inside. 2 up inside. Crowd's pushing here, guys. Crowd's long. It's 3-2 up, going back through range. Big red candle. What happens? It broke this pivot here. Smooth sailing right back through. First target on crowd 265.16.
Peloton's ripping pretty good, guys.
That was pretty good. Yep. 2. It made a higher high coming where it's just to pull back the downside. It needs to break the pivot on the 4 hour here. It could reject and go lower. Gotta be careful with it. If you're not in it, it's too late to get in it right now. You need to wait. I'd wait till at least broke on 15. Reason being, if you reject off either one, you can pull back. Earn it inside, Amazon inside shop. Let's take a look at shop here. I'm not really scalp this bad dude. I was saying Pete Tom won't keep ripping, and he could. Etsy's long right here. SQ come back through range, PMG style. Ooh, Shopify breaks 1521.87. It's gonna be long. This scalp. Shop's in a really, really tight range. Shop's long right this second. For maybe $4 or $5. Murder's long. Momo hammer up. Novak's long right this second. Add to it. Get you some. SWKS trying to come up here. Badu's long on a Momo hammer. Tesla's trying to go hard again. Novak ripping. Turner. CRWD. Tesla. I can't push the button for you. Can't do it.
John Deere's trying to go DE. Also AA kind of a little bit even for smaller accounts. I don't know.
Hey.
I mean, you've been calling all the great ones. You know what I'm saying?
AA looks really good too, man. There's a lot of good ones.
Yeah, it's a smaller account one too.
SQ's at target here. AA looks really good. SQ hit target. It's almost the first target, and Crab's pumping. Crab's almost the target. SQ hit target and is trying to push this 15 minute here. It can PMG up to 289. Crab. Target big red count of 15 right here, and then the next target's gonna be 267.74. $6 move. I do pushing, Myrna still pushing. Ooh, shot. I get carried away. So I'm gonna try to hop in a shop right here. I had a shot. I guess it paid. Yeah, I guess it paid that time out. You're paying attention. Crowd hit target here. Shot, what a fucking move. All right, let me show you where I got in a shop here. I'm gonna try to start going back and show you where entries are. All right, this thing opened up right here this morning. It skyrocketed. Good for a scalp. Went across here. I took it long here for a scalp. Came back down. I let it settle. Came back up. It wicked out twice. As soon as it crossed these wicks right here, it was long for gap fill, and then came up to here actually. Can't stay in the shop long. SQ hit target. The reason I target these is because they can wick back just as fast as they go up. Right, clear targets on. I'd rather hit it target, sell it as I get to my target here, and then enter on the breaks. Target on this thing right here was a pivot. You sell before it gets to it. You want to sell as it's pushing up into it. Sometimes you catch a swag doing that. If this thing happens to break this pivot here and then retest or at least close above it, I'll take it again and target this pivot here. Roku's
I'm
pushing
long.
up here.
Yeah, I'm long Roku from 390. So that was a nice bounce down there at the 389.50 mark.
Yeah, Roku's been nice. It went long about the same time LC did.
Yep.
Novak Smyrna still long here, guys. Anytime you get a chance to add to it, do it. All right, entry on Roku here. It rejected off the base, started making higher lows here. It was long here, first target here, and then pivot. Now we're getting, if we get a break above this and a close or even a retest on it, we can add to it. All right, because our first target's always going to be the pivot. All right, let's go to Etsy. If it goes back solid green here, you can add to it. Just pull back on 1 minute. There you go. Etsy. Basically the same thing. opened up, went green, went right back red. It rejected right here off the base, so it didn't touch the pivot. Went higher low, went inside and up. As soon as it came back up and it crosses here, this is your first target. And then your second target is always going to be the pivot. There was a target right in this area here. Supply zone. Target's always going to be the pivot. You want to be selling to as you get close to it. So Etsy did hit target there. The next target's going to be this pivot here. Let me show you SQ. This is why I target. This is why I target the pivots. Especially before 10 o'clock. It don't mean it can't come back up. You see right here, it came up to target, pushed through a little bit, rejected. All it did is expand this range right here. Now, it pulled back here, and it can pull back here and go back solid green. All right, we need to close above the pivot, and then the next target will be this pivot up here. Zoom trying to go red green. ZM. All right, here. Zoom. Zoom went long when it crossed the pivot low here. Now we need to wait until it at least crosses this high here to hop in it. It's safer when it breaks the high here, but you're going to miss some of the move. That's a doji right now. Myrna, Novak still pushing. Good clean plays. Myrna can move. Fiver's pushing up PMG style. Myrna target 443.99. Let's see. Entry was at 433. It's about $7. Roku still pushing. SQ goes back and breaks the high of the day. It's long. Airbnb takes a break here. All righty. We're looking for 15 minutes here. It goes 3-1. 4 minutes till 10 o'clock. Here's what I want to say.
Just watching Beyond to break this 4-hour pivot.
If this thing goes up, pulls back inside. As soon as it breaks the top here, this wick right here will be an entry. At 10 o'clock, anything can happen. Roku's PMG on the 60-minute too, guys. So Roku can make a big move today if it wants to. And Etsy could too. So if you look at a 15 and a 60, it's a PMG. Could see at least 401, 411, and after 411, gap fill is 417, 418. Yes, sir. Airbnb went long. Airbnb.
Take a look at Roblox.
Roblox. Airbnb's long right this second. Yeah, Bitcoin pushing. I tell you, Bitcoin too. I said it this weekend. I think Saturday. It's 2-1-2 month with the Momo hammer continuation. It just broke the 2-1, and it's got like a $10,000 move. So there you go.
Yeah, so check out like Mara or SI for that. Those are two good ones. MARA or SI.
Riot's good too.
Oh yeah, Riot also.
Mara. Riot.
Those are all good
SI.
small account ones. You know, maybe not SI. Well, SI kind of, but Mara and Riot,
Yeah.
good small account ones.
Mara and them's looking really rough right now, though. Not to say they can't push, but don't touch until it breaks 37.66. Pushing up, though. Look at it. It's ugly as shit, but it's pushing. Look at that. Made a higher low on the week right here. Boom. Trying to come back up. It's a nice little channel there. Shopify, Shopify. All right.
Along with AA, you got CLF too.
AA's nice.
Yeah,
AA's going long.
CLF's a little ugly, but AA.
AA looks really good. AA is going for that pivot on the 4 hour, and it's going right to 44, 42. You take a swing on this thing, you're going to see 44, 42. It's going. You can wait till it breaks 41,
that week.
36.
Take that hammer week up.
Hell yeah, it's beautiful. She's a beauty.
Man, you're calling out some really good ones this morning, as always. I appreciate it.
You did too. You thought some really nice stuff out. Oh, Beyond too. The guy called Beyond.
Yeah.
AA, man. Oh, we make one
I'm
hell of a
thinking
thing.
of a second entry on Beyond here. I don't know if you think it looks good, but maybe I'll wait.
Looks pretty good. The only thing is on the 5 minute here, you get this, it's starting to wick up. I would wait until it breaks 129.10. There's a little bit of weakness right now though, so I would tighten my stops up too.
Okay.
Your stop should go right here. See that wick right there? Maybe 10 cents below that wick. See how it's starting to wick? The wicks are getting bigger as it comes up. That's a sign, my friend.
Thanks,
It didn't
Jerry.
make a higher low. It didn't make a higher high here, which is a good sign for bullish. But these wicks right here tell a story. It's slowing down. What's the volume look like on it?
Yeah, that's slowing down too.
Yeah, so just be careful. It could keep going. I'm not saying it can't. It definitely can. But it's an exhaustion risk. It needs a pretty good pullback on that.
You guys are talking about AA. Take a look at X.
Dang. Oh, the infrastructure deal, man. Oh, shit. It's going to go straight to 28.63 and then 30. Gorgeous chart. Gorgeous chart. X is higher now. Needs some kind of pullback. A little extended. Needs a pullback to hop in it though. Breaks 27, you can see 28. Look at the volume ramp on this now. All right, NVIDIA breaks the high of the day. It's gonna be long here.
Morning, Jerry. Do you have a Roblox target?
No, I'll get you one there. X is long here. Roblox. Roadblock, beautiful. Ejected off the pivot here, bouncing, coming right back up. I'll give you a daily target on there. First target's 84.70. And then 86. Breaking that 4 hour here, we can see another push right here that takes these stops out. This looks really good. You might see $90 today, who knows? Long though. Novax is going to be longer into it, probably going to bring Myrna with it. Roku's trying to break the high today again. Go Airbnb, it went back on that break. So it can go back up. D-Dog, let me show you D-Dog real quick. Because it went long, but it's holding around top of that pivot. So it's a break and a retest, pivot low. I'm on hammer, retest, push up. Little bit of weakness though. And wick shut there. It needs to break that wick. What it's doing is it's expanding. So breaks this wick right here, be long. You target these low hanging candles here first, and then the gap there. Guess you try and go again here. Go, just go. Guess it's long.
What's the target on Tesla?
720. 720. There she goes. It breaks 720, you could say 725, 727. Nice, pull back the upside.
Yeah, Beyond did it again too. But I might stay out of it.
Palantir also.
Pound. Novak's is long.
Upstart is looking good.
Nice. Nice. Let's go.
Come on. Damn it.
Looks like X is starting to crap the bed here.
X. Yeah, pull back for your Tesla is a whole 716.30. SQ breaks today's highs and be long. You get to close above pivot 15. D-Dog's trying to go fill that gap. Oh, Fixing to add a Tesla here. Tesla's longer, add to it. Get you, Sean.
Jerry, how about AMD?
AMD starting reverse. We're gonna make sure it's on a break and a retest though. Let me show you on the break and a retest right here. AMD. Come on. I'm probably gonna be holding Tesla for a while. I expect this thing to make new highs this way. Look on the 15 here. AMD, even though it's starting to curl back up here, we gotta allow for some expansion. So it could expand here. If you get a close above this thing right here, then we'll target the pivot high. But price can expand back through range and then start to pull back down. All right, it's a pretty good downtrend. Opened up, came back down. It did 2 down, 2 up right here. With the target being the pivot, it's breaking through it. Trying to go long. We need to close above it, or we need to close above it. So we can break it, retest it, then we'll target top of this candle here, and then it could PMG back up. So as much as I like this thing to puke here, we never let it create bias. So it's still got a little bit of ways to hit that pivot on the 5 minute. So let's pull that up as well. You want to be aware of all the pivots and all time frames. So we got a pivot here. It's been a pretty good downtrend. Opened up, went low, chopped sideways here. You could have took it long, went across this wick here, target here, and the pivot. Again, it could still come up to this pivot here and reject you the lower. So yeah, so you could have opened it or longed it here, and then your target would have been this. The reason being, price could test it more. But it was long when it crossed right there.
Jerry here broke the high of day.
What did?
Can you take a quick look at
Palantir.
mRNA? I have a short in at 440.
You're short Myrna?
Yeah. Wondering if I should cut it now.
Oh. Well, if it retests, the last time Myrna came up to 444, it rejected pretty hard off of it. So I can tell you this: if it breaks 444.20, I would cut it. But the hell, that's $6 or $7 away. Yeah, you really wanted to cut it when it was down here. It happens. You might get lucky and it bounces off right here and goes short as it starts to chop back sideways again. I can tell you this: it needs a rest. This is highly extended. Well, there's a rest right there on the loop. Pull back, trying to come up. I don't know if this thing's gonna go back down anytime soon. On the 5 minute, it's kind of chopping sideways, making lower highs. I'd stay in it for a few minutes. You might get a pretty decent pullback on it, but any sign that's going to reverse and go higher, I'd cut it and try to minimize losses. Roku's longer, add to it here, guys. SQ's longer, add to it. And Shopify. Let me look at PLTR quick. Shopify breaks today's highest long. Yeah. It's making lower highs on the 5 minute. You got a big wick right there on the 15. It could reverse and go short. And Etsy's trying to go 212 up. And Roku's long. Target on Roku, 404. And then 411. PLTR, damn, PLTR hit target there, which is a pivot on the 60. You gotta be careful. It could hit that, reject, and go lower. The last 3 times really, it got close to that level, it reversed or rejected off of it. Yeah, man, it can't keep going higher. Right now on PLTR, on the weekly, it's starting to curl up. You can see it right here. It's starting to curl and our cup. On the 4 hour, it's in a really tight consolidation. The consolidation is about $1.50 wide. If it breaks the 4 hour pivot here, this thing can really rock. Breaks the 4 hour, it could see 23.30. It is making higher lows on the week, on the day. It's breaking through that 60. That 60s lines up. The beautiful thing about the 60s, it lines up with the 4 hour and the daily. That's why when I run my scans, I'm looking at the 4 hour. The higher time frame the break, the bigger the break. Well extended though. It's really extended. There's a lot of volume in this damn thing coming from somewhere. Man, it's a beast. I'm scared to get in it, but it's nice though. Here's what I want to show you. It's been a really tight chop on the 4 hour. And you really got to know what can happen. All right. So on the 4 hour, this line actually extends all over to here for weeks. Price could expand through this range, reject and come back down. It don't have to. You don't have to do that, but it can. All right. So it could push up and then reject and come back down. Or it could say, you know what, I'm tired of chopping. Let's get out of this thing. But just be aware, it is a little bit extended. It's having a pretty good pullback on it. Tesla, you know, Tesla did this all last week. It was ugly as hell, but consistently pushed up during the day, not during the week. Definitely. Put Tesla on the week, on the daily. On the daily, you see it's a really tight. This right here is
Tesla looks like it's having a hard time holding prior high of the day, Jerry.
Yeah, it's showing some weakness for sure. 100%. Yeah, if I was in it, if it dropped another 10 cents, if I was in it, somebody else.
Jerry, can you check out Groupon and see if it's moving to a flip?
Yeah. I'm gonna hold my Tesla, but what I'm saying, if somebody else is in it, I'd probably put a pretty tight stop on it because it's just showing some weakness. But with the news and stuff like that, anything's possible on it. You definitely want to cut if it breaks below 7, 12, 15. I'm going to probably hold on for a couple of days. Etsy's 212 trying to go up here. If it breaks high today, it's going to be long. Groupon. Baidu's trying to go short here. Groupon's starting to curl here. This is either a pullback to the downside. If it breaks 27.80, it's going to be short. Yeah, it's probably gonna go short here. Probably just pull back the downside. This son of a bitch is dying here. You had a Momo shooter last week, a big one. Went outside and shot back down, broke through the pivot, right? So it didn't bounce off this, it actually broke through it. If you swung it, target would be $18. It's the same pattern. We're gonna show you. This is the same pattern that we'd see on a 5 minute, 15, 30, 60. And I would not take any kind of hesitation to take this trade right here. The downside. The only thing difference is this is a weekly chart. Right? So target's going to be here. Everybody swings. The same thing applies to swings, really. It's just can you sit through the chop? Something I have a hard time sitting through the chop. So it broke through the pivot here. All right, came back, retest, kind of pushed back down. It's a PMG all the way down.
It's crazy, and this thing blew away the numbers too, and it jumped right before the open of the market 2 days ago, and then it just went off the cliff. It's my God, talk about manipulation. It's like textbook manipulation.
You're not kidding. Yeah. So to show signs of weakness here, you can get in early. So if it breaks $28, it's gonna be short. And of course, your first order is gonna be $27.86. But this thing's dying, man. It's not going up anytime soon.
Yeah.
AMD fixing to go along. Yeah, Groupon's a nice short though. Essie's long.
Airbnb trying for a 2-2 reversal on the 5 and 15. We'll see.
Nice. To come back down and touch pivot on the 60. BA's trying to break for a gap fill here.
Palantir is a monster. It's just a straight rocket.
Yeah, PLPR is moving. It's kind of sketchy because it's so extended, but it's not stopping, is it? It must have got some kind of news or something. Yeah, I don't understand it, but it's going. On that weekly, it's got a lot of red candles to come up. 23.30 is a weekly. Probably gonna see it today. 25 and then 27. Looks good. It's extended, pretty extended for me though. I'm just scared of it. Let's look at Airbnb. Airbnb's kind of choppy right now. Looked good this morning. Murder's long again here, guys. 212 up, and it has a measured move on the 15. Novak's supposed to go long too. Murder just hit new highs there. I don't know if I'd stay in it, my friend. It's just too strong, my guy. Breaking at 60, the only thing you can hope for is it rejects. It's a long. This thing's moved $40. If you took it this morning when I told you guys to, you'd be up on it. I know that. And unfortunately, on the week here, it did have a pullback. So we're always waiting on the pullbacks. If something solid green candles on the way up, it's hard for me to get in something because it hasn't had a rest. Also, remember that every time frame needs its own rest. So when you see 2-2, see these 2-2s here? Solid, there's hardly any wicks on there. That's exhaustion risk. And then, which the next week comes in, pulls back pretty hard, around 50% of this candle here. That's enough of a rest. Right, so it's going to look like this. Comes up, barely pulls back, comes up, pulls back pretty nicely, goes up. Next candle opens, pulls back a little bit. This one comes up and finishes on a wick, pulls back. All right. So there's your rest on that one. There's your rest on that one. There's your rest on that one. It breaks the high and goes up. So really, look here. This is a 2. This was a 1. As soon as it breaks the high, it becomes a 2. So there's your 2, 1, 2, and 2 candles. And this is a measurement candle here. It could double top here and pull back. I doubt it. There's a lot of volume coming in. So this is a weekly chart. If this is set up on the 5-minute chart, I'd play it the same exact way. There's no difference in the way I play it. There's no difference. The only thing that separates these charts is time and money. And that's it. The longer the consolidation, the bigger the break. We see it consolidating right here on the 60 and the 30. Again, when it breaks that pivot, it takes out these prior stops here. You always be mindful too of price expansion. We talk about that all the time. And that's just basically it expands, taking this stop out, or it expands and then traps you back in there. So Myrna could, if you are in Myrna, I put my stop at 440. I'd probably do it at 442, just to lock in as much coverage as you can. On the candles that are bigger, this don't look like a big candle. It's $5 wide though. I put my stop 50%. So half of the candle. I don't want to get back $5. Roku's long on a Momo hammer. And again, Roku's PMG 60, and it's almost to the next target. Like taking candy from a baby. And AMD's long too, PMG. So let's pull up the 60 here. I'll show you where the target is. Right here. Target, first target, second target, third target, and then gap fill right here. See these stops to take out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a PMG right there. PMG takes these stops out. And a lot of times, this is the same pattern that works on the daily all the time too. If you see this on the daily, a lot of times, not all the time, a lot of times, that daily candle will take out several days in a short amount of time. It happened on SQ last week, remember. It bottomed out and it came up and rode the prior candles in just a few hours. Same pattern. The only thing that separates these patterns is time and money. And that's it. Time and money. You can take these trades on higher time frames, of course, and make a lot of money. You sit through them. All right, so Roku. Let's pull up Roku. Let's pull it up on the weekly first. We'll examine it. I'll show you. I'll try to decipher what I say. Maybe it might help some people here. All right, so in the past, I had a pretty good uptrend on it. Started trading sideways here. You see it right there. Also, what I see right off the bat is it expanded to the pivot just a little bit. So price expanded, taking the stops out before going back through. It's making higher lows. Hey, shop breaks high today. It's long here, guys. Breaks high today. It's long.
Beyond still looking good.
Baba's on a 2-2 reversal.
Shop's long. Shop is long. Shop is long. Cap it. We're going to target the top, the red candle on the 15. I mean the 30. Left side. 1540. Badu's
Jerry, check
long.
Baba.
Oh shit, Amazon's long.
Baba's
Yeah,
long too.
good, but it's going back through chop. If it goes long, target's going to be the high of the day. Amazon's long, shop's long. Oh, shop, give me my money. Baba looks good, but it's going back through that range there. You got to be real careful with it. Anyway, Roku's target's going to be, it hit the first target. Next target's going to be 411. Let's pull up Baba right quick. Oh shit, actually, let's pull up Amazon here. Amazon's long. Amazon target 3352. Where'd I get the target from? I'll show you. Right here. It went long when it crossed the pivot here. Why? Because it chopped here, made a higher low. It wicked, it broke through. This is the target here. I'm not going to stay in it that long. Same with shop. I'm going to take a small piece of this. I'm going to take a small piece of this pie right here. Oh, shit. Out of shop. Crazy. Come on, Amazon, push, push. Out of Amazon, I'm not going to chance it. Take $6. All right. Let me show you on shop here. We'll go back and do a recap. I'm trying to do recaps on this shit. Roku's long if it breaks the high again, or add to it. Same with Etsy. Every time Etsy breaks the high, it pulls back and goes long on the break of the high. Same way with Roku right now. Let's pull up Roku real quick and I'll show you where I take my entries and longs. Now look, Amazon, I gave you the target. It's gonna get there. All right. I'm not gonna sit. I don't have to sit through the whole thing. Wait on pullback to the upside. Roku here. Every time it goes inside, so it goes inside right here, and then up. As soon as it crosses here, it's long. This went up, pulled back. As soon as it crosses the high here, it's long again, right there. All right, so I'm going to show you again. It goes up, pulls back to here. As soon as it crosses here, it's long. And if you look too, this right here became the stop. See how this came back and retested it here? Anyway, it goes up, pulls back to here. As soon as it crosses the high here, it's long or add to it. It goes up to here, pulls back, goes inside. As soon as it crosses the wick here, guess what? Long again. Just pull back to the upside. It's rest. It's healthy. It's healthy because you're getting rest along the way. All right. The bodies are getting smaller along the top here. Target was here and here and here. Amazon, give you a target on that. Don't plan on staying in things ever very long because they need pullbacks on the way up. Even though it will get the target here. You see it push up. It actually pulled back just a little bit, went long. We're going to open and close above that thing. Went long as soon as it crossed the pivot here. And you see right here, I'm looking at more than that. Sure. Right here's a previous pivot. It double bottomed there. It tried to go lower again. It failed. It actually started making a higher low. Then made another higher low. You could have took it long when it crossed these wicks right here. Right there. You could have took it long as soon as it crossed right there. And then target it here and then here. It'll definitely get to the point here, but I want to show you on the way up, you're going to get some pullbacks on the way up. I don't want to sit through it. I don't want to see any kind of red on that. Myrna's still pushing here. I hope you got you some of that. Remember, Myrna kicked ass last week too. I mean, it had a pullback last week. That's all I can say. And now we got to close and we got to close above the 60 and a retest. So let me show it to you. Here's a break, or here's a candle up. It pulls back on it, the retest, and it's gone. It was long. If you want to be on the safe side when it crossed this wick here. All right, so watch. It goes up. It wicked out there. Pull back for a retest. As soon as it crossed this wick right here, it was long. Okay. Also, on the pivot,
Can I help you? Good morning.
And that's important for your stop. So somebody's mic's open. So when you look at this thing right here, your stop would have been, let me clear this up. Your stop is right here, minus 10 cents.
Wednesday's good, yeah.
There's the closest support from entry. Right here on this body, minus 10 cents. That gives you the closest stop and the safest stop. And so your stop would have been right in there. Yep. Amazon's almost a target there. I'm not gonna sit through them. I'm not gonna sit through them. I'm just gonna take a piece of the pie. Right now, if you're an Amazon, you should be selling the shit out of it right there as it comes up to target. Why? Because it can form a double top and bounce back just like the SQ did. Now we wait on a break above and a hold, just like on the one we was just looking at. I can't tell you. All right, target on this thing, always a pivot. As price comes up to it, guess what? You're selling it into the strength. You don't want to sell it at the pivot. You want to sell it as it's pushing up to the pivot. Now, as it breaks above it here, if it breaks above, we get some kind of retest or pullback, I'll enter again. And it's actually going to be long again right now. Target's going to be this wick here. Safer if you wait now until it breaks the pivot. Like that. So I'm gonna wait. But...
Hey Jerry.
Uh-huh.
Is AMD a TTO?
AMD, it's got that pivot on the 5 minutes. You gotta be careful with.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at it. So it's pushed up. So
break
it went
112.
long. Yeah, it went long right here. The target would have been here, here, and here. It did get a break above it now. It's retested it. Now it's pushing up. You need to wait, until it breaks the high of these candles here. Amazon's almost a target. All right, Amazon just broke through. Now we need to close and a break above it or a pullback of some sort. Martin's still pushing. Novak's is long here. Taking candy from a baby. Now we need to wait on Amazon to see a close above the pivot, because remember, price expands on these pivots. That's one reason we always sell going up. Now we need to get at least a close above it, some kind of retest. On the retest and a strong uptrend, sometimes they won't even get close to touching it. Sometimes they'll come back and touch it exactly, and sometimes they'll push through just a little bit to take out prior stops and then push up. So each case, there's about 20 or 30 different scenarios. Novak's is long, Myrna's long. Every time it goes inside up, even in one candle. BA is long for gap fill too. I think I talked about 10 minutes ago. I want to say this too. A lot of stuff that I call, not a lot, but there's some stuff I call that I don't get into. I'm just trying to call different stuff for people who's got different account sizes. They can go in there and I suggest that anything I call to, you go look at it yourself. Some people call stuff, I go look at it. If it don't suit my needs or my rules, I don't get it. Don't mean it can't go, because it definitely can go. And I suggest everybody do the same thing. If I call a ticker that tickles yours, you look at it. If it looks good to you, you take it. Because in the end, you're responsible for your own trades. I do call a lot of good stuff. At the end of the day, it's a responsibility to decide to take it or not. So I was trying to push back through range here. So if we look on the 30 here, it broke through. All right, this is why we always talk about expansion, because it's true. Price it's true that it expands, and it's I say that because it can keep you out of trouble. Now it's a pretty good uptrend here. A couple different things can happen, and also I'm thinking of a million different things that can go on. I'm playing chess in my mind all the time. All right, so look here, we got a clean break here. It could be a retest as price expands and goes higher. So breaks this low here, it's going to be long, target here and here. Now, price comes up, it could expand on this range right here and then decide to come back through. Now, if we get a close and then a retest and come back down, you can enter on the low, all right, for the pullback to the downside. The target's going to be right here, right? Because price can quickly come down this big green candle. All right? What's beautiful about these big green and red candles is they block all this stuff. Everything that's behind it is null and void. It's there's nothing there. It's a wall. And you know, if you're on a wall, you can just fall right down the wall, or you might fall up it. Yeah, a new thing to fall up the wall, but there's nothing to stop it there. All right, let's looking at taking a shot short here now. As price expands, that's what's important to know about price expansion. It can keep you out of a lot of trouble. All right, shop fixing to go short on a PMG down. All right, so look here. When I want to take something back down, I'll show you a couple things I'm looking for. Let's annotate it. All right, price pushed up here. It did retest and went high. It actually automatically went green. If this thing crosses the low of this candle right here, it will be short instantly. And we'll target here and then here. Okay. The reason being is it came up, made a new high, pulling down. It could retest the pivot to the downside. So there's our wave right here when it crossed the bottom of this candle. All right. So it's just a break, a retest, and push down. Now, if it comes back up, I will not touch this thing unless it crosses the wick. All right, safer, because it could trade sideways in here. All right? So you want to wait till it breaks out one side or the other. It's gonna be short when it crosses here because the price expanding. If it don't cross there, there's no trade. And if it comes up and crosses here, it's long. All right, let's pull up the video real quick. The video touched pivot several times here, rejecting again, fixing to go short. So let's show you here what's going on. Here's the pivot. Pushed up, it's made a lower low. It actually made a higher high here. You see every time it came close, it rejected with big wicks. All right, big wicks every time it got close to this area. So this is a zone right here. And every time I got close, it rejected. It's still chopping sideways here. All right, all this is chopped. It's safer when you get outside of this range. Okay, right here. Now, you could short it when it crossed right now, with the target being here. But that's not a very good risk reward because it could expand through this pivot here. All right, it could expand through here to bounce and only come right back up and start chopping again. All right, so you want to wait till it crosses this level here because that acts as support resistance. If it crosses there and we get some kind of break, a retest, and then we can take it long or short, and we would target this area here. Pretty good support there. See, 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. The next target would be here, 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 and here. All right. It did go short right there. But the only problem is the target was so close. Right. So went short here, target's here. Not very good risk reward. Let me this. There's a pivot. You got to be mindful where the pivots are. All right, and also minor support resistance. Here's one right here. It's not marked. You see it. You got to train your eyes to see these levels. They're very important. And even from a few days back, if there's a reaction around a certain level, you better be mindful of it. So I'm just trying to go through the trades, how I take them, where my answers are. I don't think I talked much about it. All right, the video, guys, trying to go short here on the 5 minute. Again, it needs to break below 203.30. It'll be short. Let's look at the 15 because I'm always looking at the 15 for my answers. Again, I'll show you what I say. Right here, price expansion, it rejected right here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. All right, that's a wall. That is a damn wall. It's plain as day. Price cannot get through the wall. It's a wall. It's a roof. All right. Every time it bounced off there, rejected. It actually went short again on the 5 minute down there. Target's going to be here, here, and here. So Nvidia is short right this second. If you want, wait till it goes solid right on 5 minute, and it's short. The target's going to be the bodies, and the wick, and the pivot. Again, this whole thing is inside of range. All right, right here, price expanded. Got price expansion here. We got price expansion here. What does that mean? That means the price can come all the way back down here if it wants to. Put one back up. All right, the video is short. Add to it right here. Or don't. SQ, let's look at SQ. It's breaking and retesting, or it could. All right, let me go through this way. I'm looking at the 15 because the higher time frame the signal, the stronger it is. Myrna, I don't know what to tell you about Myrna. You said for. I hope you got in it this morning. All right. SQ pushed up, retested, come right back down. It broke out with a retest the upside. Right now it's making higher lows. It's wedging. All right, it's flagging. See? Now it broke up. It retested once. It come up. As long as it bounces in this area here. And what I mean is, we know price expands on these, so it could pull through just a little bit. As long as it stays above it, it's still bullish. There's no trade on this thing until it breaks the high of the day. You hear me say all the time, break the high, take it. Break the high, take it. All right. Now, if this thing crosses below and we get some kind of pullback, it can touch it, can break through, it don't have to touch it at all. As soon as it crosses the pullback, the candle for the pullback, so we got to close below it. It is short. Target's going to be here, 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 and here. We're always ultimately targeting pivots. Always. All right. This is a chop. Yeah. There is price expansion. We're drawing it there and there. So price is going to come back down and then go back up and then go back down, go back up. You always want to think 15 steps ahead. Myrna's to the moon here. Myrna to the moon. This thing moved $45. And entry on this thing was $434. $20. There's no reason to get out yet. There's no signal to get out of it. The break retest 60. Amazon's coming back down here. Price expand on Amazon, trying to come back down. Shop is short right now. So shop is short. Yeah. What a beautiful day. Baidu's breaking right now. Baidu's long 212. Momo hammer 30. Breaking through pivot. Shop short target 1528. And then 1523. I'm not gonna hang in there that long. Sheesh. Baidu's long. Myrna's long. Every time Myrna breaks its high, it's got to go inside up. Every time it does, that's long. I would consider putting a pretty tight stop on it now, though. It's getting ready for exhaustion. I guess we'll pull back. Baidu to the moon. Add a
Like
Shopify. Hit target.
Goldman Sachs is starting to wake up.
Nice. Amazon's fishing go short here. Shopify did hit her first target. Let's see if Shopify hits second. I'm already out of shop. But, next target on shop is 1523. Amazon's breaking back through. So let's pull up the 5-minute right quick. Amazon's short right now. Got a beautiful target, 33.34. So let's play Amazon again. We just red and green, green and red, red and green, green and red. Who gives a shit, right? Price expanded here. All right, went inside down. It went short as soon as it crossed right here. And first target was here, and the second target's going to be here. All right, you add to it right there. I'm only going to target a piece of this right here. I don't need all of it. We are still inside a chop. All this is chopped right inside here. Oh. CRWD's trying to reverse here. Roku's trying to reverse. All right, I'm playing backwards. And AMD's trying to reverse here. All right, Roku, we want to look for the strongest support resistance level. It broke it right here on the 15. Next one's going to be $399. All right, Roku breaks $400, so $399.90 is going to be short. And first order is going to be $396.66. CRWD short. There's a simultaneous break. Etsy short. Roku short. SQ short. Autodesk is short. SWKS is short. There's a simultaneous break going on. Out of Amazon here. Not gonna chance it on Amazon. So even though it can go to Target, I'm just not gonna chance it. If I can pull $150, $200, $400, I'm gonna do it every single day. Target on this thing still 33.34. So on these bigger tickers, I usually don't hold. I usually don't hold it to get the target. Even though they can, even though the target's clear. A lot of times I won't hold them that long. I don't have to. You don't have to hold them long. VA's almost gap fail. It's ugly on the way. Threw down to up 60. It's wedging right here on the weekly. So it's flagging. Kind of ugly 4-hour daily. Things are starting to chop a little bit now. Autodesk. Autodesk went short. Pivot on the 15. Gotta be mindful of that thing. It's breaking the pivot 30 and the 15 right this second. Could come all the way down to 327.50. All right, here's what I'm saying. Here's a pivot. It's breaking the pivot on the 30. Each time frame is going to have its own pivot. You see right here, it's breaking the 15 pivot too. Hopefully what happens is we get that break below it and retest of some sort, some kind of pullback to the downside. Beautiful, huge green candle right here. Next target will be here. And then of course the pivot. Always want to those pivots. Right here we got a pretty tight consolidation. So right here in itself is chopped. And that's why it's important to get outside of that. It actually creeped below it right here just a little bit. But what are we able to be true about pivots and minor support resistance is there's price expansion on it. So it did shake through a little bit, expanded. So it could come back through here, who knows? You want to see it close below this right here,
You know, the Goldman Sachs again. So looks good.
Goldman Sachs.
Yep, I'm done for today. Well, a break even day, so I'm just watching now.
Goldman Sachs, big shooter, to be the first sign of weakness. Boy, I tell you what, though, these higher time frames are gorgeous. I've always loved Goldman Sachs, Visa, and all that stuff. Very pretty charts. When you get some nice good pullbacks on it. There's a shooter there. It don't matter though. It could just be a pullback to the upside. Who knows? So price comes up, pull back here, could go back. It could come all the way back down and touch the pivot, expand range, and then go back higher. I don't think it's going to go down anytime soon. Even though pullbacks on the way up, so it's expected. That's normal. Market's going to go long again here. Novax breaks high. It's going to be long again.
Jerry, I've got a call in on coin at 275. Just wondering if I should cut it or stay in.
Sorry about your Myrna.
No, I cut it. I cut it early.
Coin's starting to curl. So if you look, a lot of times you can look at these things and kind of see what they're doing. This thing is curling up. And on the month here, it's curling up. And I want to show you these IPOs. I haven't seen hood, but a lot of times these IPOs, they do really good. And all of a sudden they puke. And then they'll chase sideways. Then they'll start to pick back up and come all the way back up. But it's curling. It's starting to curl up here. It is making higher lows. So let's take a look at weekly 4 hour. All right, so we got a break. Our retest on the 4 hour, push up, nice pullback. It's definitely an uptrend. Let's see if we got lower time frames here. Right now, if you're in it, I would hang on. I would not touch. I would not do anything unless it broke 276. Let's see here. What's the next support? 275. Yeah, if it breaks 276.30, I cut it. I would cut it. But honestly, it's in a pretty good uptrend here. It is chopping sideways here. It's not dying yet, just resting. Let's see it better. I'll show you where your supports are. There's one sitting right here. There's support there, minus 10 cents. Your next support, your stronger support is right here. Also, if you look at this thing, it's in a channel. Yeah. So I wouldn't touch it yet. I wouldn't touch it. I would wait until it breaks a level. Either this level here or this level here. But she's going up, my friend. Yes, sir. And if it crosses, right now it's long, 2-2 up. Let me show you. So this thing comes up. As soon as it crosses this wick here, it's long. Target's going to be here and then here. Now you want to see it break 282.43. So hopefully when it comes back up, it breaks it. Otherwise, it'll start to chop. And as long as you stay above support here, you're good. Because eventually what's going to happen is it's going to chop until it gets tired of chopping. It's going to either break out the top or the bottom. Now, if you're up in this range right here, the next time it got close, if it failed to make a new high here, I'd cut it as soon as it got close to it. So it's like my 2-timer. Price chop sideways, comes back up, and then it fails to make a new high here. I will cut it as soon as it starts to roll back down. because there's about $4 in there. Let's say, no, about $6. I'd rather, give back a small amount than, because eventually what's going to happen is this thing's it's going to chop sideways. What's going to happen is it's going to either break out the bottom or the top. So not only did you give up $6, now you cut the bottom, now you're chasing the bid. So it's safer to cut it if it doesn't make a new high.
I just cut it at 279.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, it's best to cut it at, especially if you're green, it's best just to take, it's better to be $1 green than to be $1 red anyway. Novak's broke again, probably gonna push Myrna with it. I keep Novak's and Myrna side by side. One's always leading, one's always lagging. All right, and also Novak's looks the best out of the two because Novak's got this big gap still.
How about Tesla?
That's a chopping. I'm still in my calls. I have big plans for Tesla. I got big plans for Tesla as well. And I usually don't like holding this shit, but I think something big's gonna happen with Tesla this week. And Tesla's gonna be long when it crosses 716.30, but the target's only gonna be 718. Hopefully it comes up and make a new high. If you look at the 5-minute, it's starting to curl. The good thing about Tesla is a couple of different good things. So this is one candle. That pullback's about 50%, which is normal. Also, when you look at it, it is curling up. It's cupping. The first thing it needs to do is get outside of this level here, because every time prices come to this area right here, it's wicked back. So it needs a lot of strength to get through this area right here. Right there. The reason being it's touched 1, 2, 3 times. So if we can get a solid break above that, that's going to be really nice. And of course, we'll target body and a pivot. Also, on top of that, price is chopping sideways in this area. It's a compound 1 right here. All this is a 2. All right. The longer price stays inside this range, the bigger the break we'll have when it crosses the pivot. So we could possibly have, $5 break, $8 break, $20 break. Also, as price comes up here, we want to see volume increase. So right now, if we can break above this right here, it'll be long. And the target's going to be here and here. Yeah. So, and based on last week, this damn thing chopped all kinds of ways. So you really got to have some diamond hands to make money with this thing. I'm going to hold this one. I'm going to hold. We'll try this one. So let's pull that up right there. We'll put some fibs on it. All right, so it came pretty close to 61.8 right here, which is normal. 61.8. So right here is 61.8, and this line here is 50% right there. So the pullback was 61.8, which is pretty good. So it looks like this. But it needs it right now. It needs to clear this.
Jerry, can you take a look at Elan? That's ELAN. It's 4 times the volume today.
Yeah. Shit, Etsy just went long. Etsy is long. Elon. Yeah, volume. Volume starting to creep down just a little bit. Yeah, 400%. Greater than its average volume. Gap down right in the doji, so it's right smack in the middle. You can see it on a 60 to 2-1. It's flagging. It's making higher lows, which is bullish. But tell you what, if it breaks, if it breaks 30.80, it's long with the target being 31.65, and the break or the gap up. I want to show you because this on these things right here, nobody's as long here, Mer's long. The targets are always the same for any kind of gap down. All right, so price gaps down here. It opens up, goes long, then went short. All right. So as soon as this, all you gotta do is on a gap down, guys, is wait. Just wait. A lot of times they'll cup, just like this right here, start to curl right back up. Almost 90% of the time, if you'll just wait, all right, till 9:45 or 10 o'clock, they will start to curl. All right. So if it starts to curl, here's the low. All right. As soon as it crosses this candle wick here, it's long. All right. As soon as it crosses right here, it's long. Target's going to be this wick. All right. There's your target. There's your first target. Now, usually when it gets this target here, I will cut it. All right. I'll sell into it. I'll cut it. Then I'll wait. If the next candle opens and then we get some kind of test of this area here, I'll take it along again. So it crosses right here. And what I'll do is if there's any kind of pivots in here, I'll target those. Okay. If there's some low hanging candles way over here, I'll target those. And then I'll target the gap fill itself. And the reason my first target's here is because the price can come up and then double top and then reverse. All right. If it rejects off this pivot here and it gets a pullback or retest the pivot or this high, which is just a minor pivot, probably want to be marked, then I'll short it with the target being here and here.
So that first candle, those first 2 candles are basically the defining trend for, you know, the
absolutely
foreseeable near term.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and really, if you look at this thing, it is it's chopping. All right. So we want to target here, and if it rejects off that, we'll target the low. But the gap downs are my favorite, especially on the big names. So say the market's crapping, pre-market spikes down, and all of a sudden the market drops at open. And say, well, it gapped down, the whole market gapped down the big names, right? I'm going to look for the biggest gaps on the biggest names. And say it opens, it gapped down, all of a sudden it's close to a pivot. Well, as soon as the candle crosses below the pivot, I'll take it short instantly, and I'm going to scalp it. And say the next candle opens up, goes green, and then all of a sudden it comes back down, turns red, and crosses this prior candle's low. I'll short again. And then I'll wait. It'll start to chop, and then it'll start coming back up. As soon as it crosses the strongest support or resistance, I will take it on again, and I'll target the body of the first candle, or the low of the first candle, and then the second candle, and as it gets up to those candles, I'll take profit. All right, I'll go ahead and cut it. Then, when it breaks above that, retest some sort, I'll take it again, and I'll target the gap fill. But those work 90% of the time. And really, on a gap up, it's the same play. It's the same, you get your same targets. Myrna's long here again, or add to it, guys. About 8 ads. And Etsy's long too. BA hit target and is pushing on up here. It's a 2 down, 2 up. BA, that's a month's salary right there. Yeah.
Hey, Jerry, I just got back from walking the dogs. I need a target. Do you have any targets on Roblox and Datadog and NVAX?
NVAX, oh yeah, gap fill on NVAX. If you're in NVAX, you should be killing it.
Yeah, I'm already out one.
Myrna's kicking butt too. So let me get a target on Novax here for you. There's a couple. Your first target on Novax is 218.70. Your next target's going to be 234. And you might want to sell as it gets close to 218, or if you want to hold, you can and target 233. On Roblox.
I've been at work. Marna.
Yeah, Myrna. Yeah, I've been in Myrna since this morning. I've had about, let's see.
Yeah, me too.
Myrna's kicking butt.
You don't even have a fiber against you
Nope.
on Myrna yet.
There's no signal whatsoever.
Hey, what do you have a stop on Marna, like a $5 trailing stop or anything?
I've got a hard stop on it. Yeah, I've got an actual physical stop on it.
What's your actual physical stop on it? Whenever you have time. I'm sorry, I just got back in the room. My bad.
Right now it's at 458.30.
Now, how are you putting in that hard side? It's not a trailing, right? You're putting it in.
Yeah,
like,
it's a hard.
Like
what I do is you go to active trader. All right, and over here in your contract, if you go below it and you scan over this red, you can hit stop. All right, and you're gonna put your quantity in. And what I do is I just grab it and I'll just drag it up. I'll just drag it up. And that way, if it happens to flash crash real quick,
so it's not like an OCO. It's not like an OCO. You just have to open up active trader. And what kind of order is it called, I guess?
Just a stop, just a hard stop. It's a market order.
Oh, okay.
Because if it happens to stop out, if it flashes back real quick, sometimes they'll puke so fast. I've had them just bypass me. And it's
right. No, I agree. Yeah, and that's what gets me on the trailing stop sometimes is it pukes so fast, it hits that trailing stop, then drops below a little bit more, and I've been trying to figure out how to stop that.
Not good. Yeah, so I use a hard stop. So just go over there and just left click it. Where it says, when you get below it, it'll say stop. Just left click it.
Hey, Nathan,
I give it quite a bit of room, though.
Nathan, what price did you get out of AMD when you were up there, when that price was up there?
Not high enough. I mean, I got out, I made good money, but God, it was like, it dropped so quick. I think I lost $2 or $3 on it as it was coming down, from the high. Oh, it pissed me off too. I was so mad about that, Corey.
I didn't hear you on. I was wondering if you got out of that thing because that turned pretty quick.
Oh, yeah, I did get out of AMD, but I had the trailing stop, and that's what it did. It dropped so far. I still made a great money on it, but I missed out on like $2 or $3.
If you're in Roblox, your stop should be at 83.90. What was the other ticker you was asking about? Novax? Oh yeah, D-Dog.
I just got that D-Dog kind of flat.
Yeah.
We're doing great with Roblox and Novax, and I'm out of Square.
Nice. Yeah. Square, it looked like it had pretty good potential there. It started wicking out right there on the 15. Autodesk is still short here. Myrna's not going to stop, man. And Novax looks beautiful because of gap fill. But if anybody's in Myrna or Novax, I suggest you keep them side by side. AMD is going to be short when it crosses the pivot on the 1530. 212 reversal downside. But Myrna, yeah, there's no signal on the 5 minute to even get out this thing. There's been no signal against you. On the bigger candles, again, I usually put my stop around 50%. To stay in the longest down, you just trail the prior 5 minute candle. Corey, did you get in Myrna? Novak?
I got a little of Novaks, not Myrna.
Myrna, you got in that at 435.
Billy also is pushing.
Billy?
Yeah, yeah.
What a day. What a freaking day. These are the days dreams are made of. Autodesk has been short for a while. BA still pushing. BA went long here, add to it. And Autodesk, target's going to be 329. Oh, shit, I missed shop long. Let's see if we can't get an Amazon long here, guys. Peeps. All right, let me show you. Let me show you shop right quick. I want to show you entry. A lot of stuff I call and people don't know why I'm entering. All right, shop. Making higher lows. Comes up, pulls back to downside, pulls back here, retest this level here. As soon as it crosses this candle right here, it's long. Target's gonna be here. And then pivot. Novak's is longer, add to it. So shop's long right here, target's here and here. See how fast it goes up? Crazy. And then it should break on through. We want to make sure it don't test, double top, and then start to chop again. This whole thing is a chop. The good thing going for it is making higher lows. I need to start scalping futures or something.
Hey, Jerry, I think I missed the new target for Roblox. I know there were targets earlier, and what are the new targets for Roblox?
Check order, set it on shop right here. Okay. Add a shot. Okay. Again, I don't need a whole piece of pie. I just want a part of it. I don't need it all. Now, I expect this thing to come up. We can do a couple different things. If we get a break above it and a retest, I'll take it long again. Right? So we want to see it come up, break through, retest, and then go long. Then it go long when it crosses right here. Roadblocks. I always expect them to go to target completely. That don't mean I'm going to sit through it. All right. On the big ones. I gotta pull $10 into red. Roadblocks. Target on roadblocks is 85.80. And then if it breaks 85.80, you will see you're ultimately going to aim for 90, but 86.50, 87, and then 89. Here's your targets.
Great, thank you. And then what about Tesla?
Tesla's still a go.
Okay.
So let me give you a stop on Tesla. If Tesla breaks 711, so like 710.90, cut it. I don't think it's going to break it today. Of course, I can't see that far in the future, but I think it's going to chop most of the day, and then toward 11 or 12 or 1 or 2 o'clock, we can see another push up. I don't think Tesla's done yet. I really don't. So I can see Tesla pushing up pretty good today. All right, I say this week. I don't know. I really think that Tesla's going to make its move this week. And also the good thing about Tesla is if you look on the daily, hang on a second. Let me get rid of this garbage right here. Yeah, if you look at Tesla on the daily and the 4 hour, it's sitting right on top of this pivot. And actually, it broke it and retested. So right here, this thing chopped right here, been chopping for a while, breaks out, and then retest. It's just a break and a retest right here. It goes back up. I think we'll see if we can break this high right here. We can really make some moves. I believe it'll see this high right here. Could be today. Could be tomorrow. But when it breaks this high right here, it's really going to go. Take a look at the high frames. Also, we look on the monthly on this thing. It did really good up to that split. And after the split, it kind of went to chaos. No backs is long here. Murder breaks 460. Gonna be longer. Add to it here, guys. All right. So look at Tesla here. Nice clean moves. You got the pullback to the upside, pullback, smaller pullback, goes up. That big wick's the first sign of weakness. Look here. If this is a 5-minute chart, who gives a shit about the name? All right. The name is not important. The time right here, the month there, not important. What else is not important? Price. Price ain't important. The name's not important. Time's not important. The only thing that's important is these candles. That's it. Shop hit target here. Now I'm looking for a break of the new high, or the high, and then we'll look for some kind of pullback and re-enter. So Etsy's long again, or add to it right here. And so shop breaks the high and then pulls back any, then I'll re-enter. Anyway, it's starting to curl here. First sign of weakness is that candle wick. All right, if you saw this on any ticker, on any time frame, you saw a big wick. All right. So it went solid green, came back, pulled back 50%, maybe 60%. Next candle opened up, tried to go higher, it failed to make a new high here. That's a problem. Goes all the way back down, comes back up, stops here. Next candle opens, tries to go again. Look here, it tried to win. It tried to go green again. It tried to make a new high a third time, and it failed. Each time, the candle got small. It got shorter and shorter and shorter. All right, that's the problem. When you see that on any time frame, you need to be aware of it, especially if that first candle, that candle there is huge.
Jerry, when you have a moment, can you check this ticker? It's the volume's up 1,400%. It's and it's down. AXSM.
Texas Fisher Pop right here, guys.
I got it on a kicking bull filter.
Yeah, Tesla breaks 7/16/60 is long. What was the ticker again? I'm sorry.
AX Alpha X-ray Sam Mike.
AMD short. Tesla's fixing to go long here, guys. I still think Tesla, I'm telling you, I'm calling it. Tesla's gonna make big moves this week. I'm telling you. FX rate Sam might. 2-2. Let's take a look at the higher time frames. Damn, the volume's crazy. Oh yeah, she's going down. She's going down. She's going down to $2.
Wow. It's the Titanic.
Yeah, 2207. It's gonna go down to 2207, being a good swing. It's not coming up anytime soon. I'm gonna drop it at $5. Yeah, right now it's consolidating sideways, starting to curl. I doubt it. I doubt it's going anywhere. Oh yeah, this weekend I was looking at SPY, or it might have been 6 o'clock this morning. I can't remember. But SPY, I want to show you something. SPY on the month, incredible. You might want to look at it. Look at SPY on the month, and look where March hit. Hit right on the pivot. Yeah, it's up a little bit, but still, it's right on the pivot. Expanded right there. Came close to touching the pivot and rejected completely. I tell you what, if I was trading back then, it'd been in trouble. Pull back and rip. And SPY, we know SPY always gets back what it's taken from it. All right, shop's long again. Shop is long. Shop in the morning. No color. Get it, more, get it. Murder's a little extended here, starting to pull back slightly. Tighten stops. BA still pushing in. Murder breaks 460. It's long. Novex is long again. Add to it. Man, hey, it's not stopping. You're in Novex. You should be slaying it. Should be slaying it. It's 212 up. 212 up. Beautiful. Adds a lot of volume on this thing. A lot of buyers. I'll tell you what. Somebody knows something we don't know. There's an institution or a hedge fund that's buying this shit up. They're buying it. They're probably buying it to ask. They're buying it. I'm telling you.
Jerry, another way to play Novax and Myrna is by IBB.
IBB?
Yep. That's a biotech index where you get them all.
Shop still kicking butt. Next target on shop, 1549. Oh shit, missing Amazon. IBB. Yeah, check that out. Yeah, Myrna's fixing to go on again. All right, I'm fixing to take profits on shop here.
Hey, for smaller accounts, it looks like AA finally recovered, and then CLF is going to.
Here's another tip on this shopping Amazon call. Sometimes I'll get a bit out of money. I'm usually looking for the options that's got the biggest amount of volume on it. Let's begin that way. So I'm at a shop right here. I'm not gonna chance it. Or $200 I have. Sure. The more you play these, the better. You understand? They have their own personality. You just kind of know when they're fixing to turn against you. That candle, that 5-minute candle was solid green a second ago. And that's the thing, when you look back, it's hard for me to look back at candles and tell you what happened. So looking back, you would never know that candle was solid green. You wouldn't know it. A&D still sure. Target load day. BA's at 15-minute or the 15 pivot. Burnet's flat top right now on the 15. Yeah. All right, let's see if it bounces off this pivot on the 5-minute here or rejects. And if it broke or retest and goes higher. All right, hope we got a retest right here on the pivot. Let me show you. Show you how to play this. Break, retest. See how it's wicking right there? I always say price expands on these. It's important for stop placement. There's price expansion to the downside, price expansion to the top side. Your stop would be right here on this body minus 10 cents because price expands even on very small support resistance levels. Keeps you in the trade. If you're gonna stay in it, it's gonna keep going up. It'll keep you in the trade. BA still pushing here.
Hey, Jerry?
Keep pushing. Yep.
Is Roblox on a 15-minute doing that flat top thing?
So we'll keep an eye on the shop here. Hopefully it breaks retest right here. If it does, we'll take shop long again. Roblox. Yep. It needs to break 85.80, and it very well could. Right now, it's shopping sideways here. So your target was 85.80, and we want to see a break above it. So what we want to see happen is we want to see price break above it, and then retest and then push higher. So when it breaks, retest closes above it, you'll add as soon as it crosses the dip and the pullback. You got to be mindful too. There's a couple things can happen here. Price can come up, double top, and then reverse and go back down and start chopping again. So you have to decide here if you're happy with profits as it came to your first target, or you want to see if it'll push through. Now, if you want, you can place a stop at. Your stop's going to be right here on the strongest. You want to set it on the strongest support resistance level, which is right here, minus 10 cents. So let me put this, I'll give it to you. Your stop should be set at 85.30. Yeah, and that'll keep you in the trend as long as possible because it didn't hit a target. But if you plan on staying this all day, then I would go by stops and just trail your stop up as it goes. What you want to see is a break and a retest. So breaks, retest, then goes, add to it right here. Yeah. And remember, longer price chop sideways here because it's just chopping. The bigger this break can be. So if it does have enough strength to break through there, it can pop up, 50 cents. This is all a compound 2, and this is a compound 1 right here.
Jerry, I'm in G. I've got a call in on GS at 4:01. What do you think?
GF?
GS. GS. No, S is in Sam.
Oh, come on, yeah, that looks good. That's what it looks like right now. Shop long right now. Shop is long. All right. Goldman Sachs looks beautiful, man. The higher time frame is just gorgeous on this thing. Yeah, Goldman Sachs. It's just gorgeous, man. I don't know what to say about it. It's just a very pretty chart. It would probably be one of the best chart too. I don't know why that Bob ain't coming up, but should be on there. If you're in Goldman Sachs, your stop should be at 402.50. BA is still pushing here as well. Goldman Sachs looks great. There's no reason to get out of it. No reason whatsoever. And BA is still pushing. This thing's been long since 2:30.
Jerry,
flat topping. Yep.
Yeah, I was wondering if you take a look at EXPI and see where that thing might be going, or if it's gonna pause for a second and get back in or somewhere.
The higher time frame, yeah, it's curling right back up. Man, got a major move candle last week, 35. Damn, 49, 14, 50. This thing could see $64 this week. Man, nice pullback on the 4 hour. Yeah, it's gonna keep going. Let me see. I'll give you a target on it. Shit. The weekly target on it is gonna be, first one is 54.40. and then 60. And it's got a measurement candle right here on the weekly. Beautiful. Break, retest the daily. Let me pull up the daily there and show you. It's a gorgeous chart, man. So right here, price breaks. You get a retest on one candle. So see it opened up here. It gapped up, pushed up, retested this level, and then went higher. Another pullback. Another pullback. But basically it looks like this. Clean. Remember, the longer the price consolidates sideways here, it's all consolidation of a damn bit of it. When it finally broke out, it gapped up, of course. And you get this big move right here. That's clean. If you're not in it, I'd wait till it breaks 53.20.
Cool, thanks.
Okay, that's good. VA still pumping here. Etsy's trying to break again. See, Etsy's flat top right now. Etsy needs a break. 1 to 84.40 to be long. Target's going to be, if we break down on 60, 186.48, 188, 191, 193. And I tell you what, Etsy's in a pretty good uptrend right now too. It can fill this gap this week. Let's look at the daily. On the weekly, it made a higher low here. The price is pushing up. It's wedging in a channel. On the daily, even though this is all chop, this is all sideways here. It expanded right here on the daily pivot. And that pivot actually screwed this other way. Here's a pivot from way back over here. Price expanded through there as well. Expanded down through it. Now it's popping right there, please. Making higher lows here. So price came down. Inside up. This right here is just a reversal of the upside here. Let's came down, inside up. This was long when it crossed this candle right here. Right there. Target's going to be here, here, here. And a pivot push. And I've got a scan that finds these on the 4 hours too. What it finds price expansion. And then it shows it coming back through the pivot low. And as soon as you get a close above it and a retest or at least one pullback, your target's going to be here. It's the same pattern we play on the 5, 15, 36, just on the 4 hour. It's a little bit longer on the 4 hour, but you're getting a bigger move too. All right, if you're Myrna, tighten your stops up right now. Novak's is pulling back pretty hard, which means that Myrna's going to follow suit. It's a good thing about having them side by side. VA still pushing. Target is now going to be 60. SQ 211. Trying to break here. It could be a 312 continuation on 60. So let's pull up the 60 right quick. Then we'll look at the 5 minute. So on Novak's too, you want to put your stop right on the base of that wick on the 15 minute because it could just be for taking profits. Breaks below that, cut the shit out of it.
Hey, Jerry, AMD's got a lot of buying, it looks like. Much more buying than selling, like 3 to 1.
It could be. Right now, it's choppy. It's just so choppy right now. 31260. It could start to pick back up. Right now, it's right in the middle of that pivot, so it's like in no man's zone. And if you were to draw them candles together and look, probably on the 60, you'd see an inside candle. Anyway, the candle is currently right in the middle of a compound too on the day. So it's not a good spot, really. I wouldn't, if you're in it short, I wouldn't let it, I wouldn't cut it until it broke the prior 15 minute candle time. 3, 1, 2. It needs to break these wicks right here to go long. And a TMG target pivot high. I'll pull up A and B just one second. Right now, SQ's flat top. So pivot. You see it's wedging. It's flagging. It's starting to come up. First target on this thing's going to be here and then a pivot. It's best to wait till it breaks the pivot. Some kind of pullback and it close above it and take it long. AMD. She is starting to pick back up here a little bit. What the higher time frame right there? I don't know. It still looks bearish on the higher time frames. Big wick last week, currently inside kind of a doji, maybe a hammer. Hammer counter shooter though, so I'm gonna keep that in mind. AMD. I don't know. I'd have to see more to take this thing along. Draw this. Right here is massive resistance. It would have to break this area where I thought about taking it long. If you're short, it needs to cross. That's where you cut it. You should cut it wherever you want to. I'd wait till it crosses this level here to go short or to stop. So your stop is at I put it at 110.90. Let me draw this thing. I think it's important that you see it. All this is a 2, compound 2. And if you look at this thing, it's right. These candles are right in the middle. I'm expecting the shop to break out here again. It needs to. I'm still in it. Right now, shop broken retest on the 5, damn it, in the 5-minute here. So see it breaks, pulls back, pushing back up. It needs to cross right here. If it crosses back below, here I'll cut it for a loss. Roku's one short here. Got a hard stop on shop. When I first enter something, I won't put a hard stop. After I get in the money or I'm kind of give it room to stay in something, I'll put a hard stop on. VA hammer up 15er. And Roku's rolling down. Yeah, AMD, I still think it's short. Yeah, Roku made a higher or lower high on a 60 and a 30. Very bearish on the higher time frames. On the weekly, it broke, retested here, or no, it just broke. Sorry, expanded on the weekly. Pivot, trying to go back through that range there. We come all the way back to 272. It's still on a short signal right now, but it needs to cross 396 to even enter. Warner breaks 460, it's long. And BA just went up on a hammer. Target still pivot 60 now. Or 234. What a day. What a freaking day. Roku, the 2 up, 2 down, 60, trying to come back there. Netflix chopping, Lulu chopping, but it's bouncing on a 60 pivot. Fiverr, missed Fiverr. I saw it earlier. Fiverr. It's on my screen, it's on there for a reason. And I should have been paying better attention to it. This could just be a pullback to downside on the weekly, or to start a reversal. It is making lower highs and lower lows on the 4 hour. A lot of times you'll see a small bounce before it continues lower. It has picked up pretty good today, though. Nice PMG. These candles are stacked really tightly in here. Target's going to be 181. Volume's decreasing slightly. VA. No stop. VA is beautiful. Not a single red candle on it in the last hour or so. Breaking a pivot on the 15. Still want to target that 56. The video's fixing to go short here. I'll show you what this signal is. Let me show you on the 15. This is what I'm looking at on this big screen here. It's consolidation break. Break the lower pivots. And make it short. Again, on the higher time frames, it's making lower highs on it. You see on the weekly here, it failed to come up and make a new high. It could still go inside up. It's kind of too early to tell, but right now, it's on a short signal here in a second. If it breaks these lows, it needs to break a low of these candles right here. If it does, by 10 cents to be short, you can see it's moving down. It's really making lower highs. It's wicking. Every time it pushes up, it starts to wick back down. It does show some volatility as well. So if you do hop in this thing, there's a pretty good chance it goes green and red, green to red, green to red. So we chop one way down. As you cross that, and those wicks are marked by that pivot. Makes the pivots so beautiful. VA ain't stopping here. SQ breaks today's highs long, Roku short. And VA's a ripper, boys. A lot of buying in there. They know something we don't know, I guarantee it. They know something we don't know. Target 240. SQ's trying to break 21260. 31260, sorry. SQ needs to break the pivot. And really all I'm looking at is these candles right here, these wicks. Volume's starting to pick up just a hair. It's safer to wait till it breaks and get some kind of close above it before you take it long. It's after 11 o'clock. All right, guys, I think I'm fixing to call it here. I'll give you a few tickers. You're going to write them down. BA, Roca, HD's curling, Fires consistent pressure. Let me pull up blue right quick. Double bottom on the 60. And it's a really strong ticker too. Really, really strong.
Hey, Jerry, a great day. Thanks. Any last comments on Tesla before you go?
Oh, 1 second, please. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I had a phone call. What was you saying?
Any last comments on Tesla before you go? And thanks, I had a great day. Really great day today. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Let's see here. Tesla, I still like Tesla. I still think Tesla's gonna do big things this week. If I had to guess, I'd say Tesla's gonna gap up in the market. Let me pull it up here. That key level is gonna be this pivot right here, 711. If it breaks 711, it could be problems. I tell you what, come 3:30, 4 o'clock, I'll be back on here looking. If Tesla does happen to break down this evening, I'll rebuy. I'll buy more at the bottom. So right now it's kind of wedging. So let's pull up to 60. I'll show you. It's flagging, and that pullback was about 61%, maybe a little bit less. So it's just flagging. It's just a bear flag right now. A lot of times Tesla will fill these gaps up pretty quickly. It was too strong to fill it. But Tesla, we still got to keep in mind that Tesla's still inside the chop. All this is chop. It's better when Tesla clears. If we can get completely out of this garbage here, if we can get up past this pivot here, man, it's going to be blue skies and smooth sailing. Yes, ma'am. We get out of that, it's going to be a nice day. Yeah. SQ's trying to break here, and BA just, somebody's buying BA up. Every bit of it. BA and Myrna, or Novak and Myrna, they really kicked butt today. I'm really impressed. And VA is nice too. A lot of volume there today. compared to the last few weeks. Etsy's breaking again as well. Momo hammer out. Flat top break. On the 5 minute, you see it. Etsy's long right this second, or I can add to it. Target's still going to be this big red candle right here on the 30. And it's the same candle on 60. So Etsy target 186, and then the top of these other candles here. Hopefully we get up Etsy to fill this gap this week. It does. It's a nice big move back up. Roku's still trying to go short here. And you see Etsy here, it's making lower highs right here on the daily, the 4 hour. Made a lower high on the weekly. It could still roll over. It could just be a pullback to the downside, but you know, we play what we said. SQ just broke. Flat top the upside. It broke at 31260. Yeah, it's after 11 o'clock, so just because it breaks here don't mean that's going to stay broken. Volume is increasing, which is a really good sign. After 11 o'clock, you got to be paying attention to volume. Because on the 5 minute, or on any time frame, really, any kind of flat top break, you have to realize that price expands on the pivots. They expand the top side and the bottom side. It's very important to know that. The reason being, price will expand the top here and then pull back and reverse. All right. So SQ is longer at the second, but you got to be mindful of it. The longer price stays inside this range here, the bigger the break. That's what we're seeing here. If you look on the 60, it's a 312 continuation measure move. So let's pull this up and I'll get you the move on it. I measure the body to be conservative. 272, 281, roughly $10. So 291 is target on this thing, and that gets us right above the pivot. So since the target's 291, it's safe to say that we could get to 289. Okay, if this thing starts to pull back here, I'll give you a stop on it. We know price expands. We know there's expansion, so that tells us that the price could pull back here. On a strong trend, they could do one of a couple of things. They can pull back a little bit. They can pull back and touch it. They can pull back and look through just a little bit, taking out prior stops, and then continue higher. And that's important to know because of stop placement. Our stop's going to go on the strongest support closest to the break, which is right here. And really, that stop takes out all these wicks right here. So it encompasses all of them pretty strong. And that would take a lot of shit to get through back to this zone right here. So touch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Right? So to break through that zone, it's going to take a lot of selling. So the stop is 282 minus 10 cents, 282.10, and you can do 282. The stop is 282, and this keeps you in the trend lines. Like expansion. And sometimes, depending on the move here, sometimes I'll give it 50%. It just depends how much I'm gonna get back. So that candle is about $2. So you can even set your stop at 50% of candle, and that way you don't go back to red. There's a couple different ways you can do it. Big candle, 50%. You know. Etsy's still pushing here too. I can see Etsy filling that gap this week. All right. Now let's look at BAs. It pulls back here to the pivot. Let's take a look at it. All right. It's pushing through there just a little bit. And what do we know about these pivots? You know, there's price expansion on them. Right. The closest support resistance is right here. Let me change the color on this. I want to show you before it happens. The support resistance right here. Minus 10 cents. Now, let me draw this. Price comes up. You can retest this level and then push right back up to see what happens. Price support for stop place. Now, if it comes back through, here, close this and retest this to the downside, guess what? Short when it crosses here. And it could be a PMG to the downside. All right. So never hesitate to get the shit out of this right here, take it the other way. Right now we expect expansion. We don't have to do nothing. Let me get rid of this right here so you can see it. There's our stop on that line. I'm not going to move it. There's no point in having a strategy if you don't know how to use it. And the what ifs and all the little nuances that go along with it. Shop's long right now. Price expansion these pivots. The upside and downside is very important when you stop placement. AC's long. Add to 7 or 8 add points on that side. I kick that shit out. X breaks 26.98 to be long. Struggling right now to get past it. Really nice though. Be nice for smooth. Shop still pushing. All right. So far, BA's held that line. I'm gonna have to turn it off there in a second, but just want you to take note what happened here. Not as I told you, but as where to place your stops. There's a pivot. There's price expansion. Your stop goes on the strongest and the closest support resistance level. Minus 10 cents. You get 20. 10 cents is usually enough. Shop is a 2-1-2 up. Momo hammer on the 60. All right, so there's BA. Put your stop right there where it held. Now, as soon as it goes back above the current candle's high, right there. It's long, add to it. Still targeting this pivot on the 60. You hear me talk about that all the time. It's because it works a lot more than it does in there that it fails. Oh yeah, Lulu. All right, so Lulu's bounced on this 60 right here. Let's pull up the higher time frames. I'll show you. It's an uptrend. See? It's broke through the monthly consolidation, which can make it make a big push this month. Got about 20 days, 20 days. I had a wick last week, currently inside. Every time this thing starts to pull back here, it's a good opportunity to buy in as soon as it starts to curl back up. Myrna's trying to break that 460 level again. All right, so right now it's pulling back. Anytime it pulls back, if you look on the daily, every time it pulls back, guess what? It gets bought right back up every single time. So anytime we catch Lulu in a nice pullback here on the daily, on the 4 hour, we want to look at buying it up. All right. It's the 60-minute on Lulu. Here's a pivot. All this is chop. Everything inside pivot high, pivot lows, compound one. It's a range, it's a chop. Consolidation, whatever you want to call it. Here it is. Now, it's higher than this one. All right, so it's making higher lows. All right, currently, it's touched this area a bunch of times. All right, a bunch, a shit ton. All right, so we'll come over here. This right here is support. This whole area, this whole range right here is support. It's very strong. Can't get back to it, right? You can't go lower. It's got one direction going. That's higher. All right, it's a floor. They can't get to the floor. For several days, they've tried to get through that floor and they can't. Now, if you look at it, it's making higher lows. All right, it's the first signs of bullish. That's like, you know, if a ticker's making lower highs, that's a sign of weakness. All right, it's your first signal. There's a problem. If you have a candle come up and the next candle comes up and it doesn't make a higher high, the next candle, no matter what time frame it is, be on a 1 minute, 5 minutes, doesn't matter. That's a sign of that's a sign there's a problem. You need to pay attention. Anyway, this candle here breaks this candle wick here. It's long. We target body and wick. These bodies, body, wick. We have film, so on and so forth. All right, this thing on the higher time frames is moving up. There's no doubt about it. There's no guessing. It's moving up. All right. So anytime we can find a pullback, guess what? We're looking for an entry to go back higher. Your safer entry on this thing is when it crosses this level right here.
I think BA just did exactly that. It went back up again.
Yep, it's long right now. Momo hammer up. Yeah, so we're stop held exactly like we talked about. It's important. I'm trying to burn that in because it's very important for your stop placement. So your stop is not a percentage, it's not a number. It's on your closest support resistance level minus 10 cents. And it keeps you in the trade longer. A and D's fixing to go short. Anyway, we're looking to take this thing back up to 416. That's $8. All right. It'd be long. You can actually take an early entry here and target here, 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 here. Ultimately, we're going to target the pivot high. All right. Consolidation. We had 2 bounces. All right. This one's higher. Now we expect it to go right back up. All right. It's going back up. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Why? The higher time frame. It's curled up and broke out. On the weekly, as it's moving. Yeah, you got some nice clean pullbacks. It breaks up, retest, gone inside. It's going to go back to 415, new highs. Monthly, curling up, breaking month consolidation. Every time it pulls back on the 4 hour or the daily, it gets bought up. They're buying the dip every single time. You bank on it. VA held support, held our stop, pushed that back up. All right, where's the next stop going to go? Right here. Right there. There's your closest support resistance level, minus 10 cents. It's a minor support. The more touches you have, the stronger support. So if you can get 2 or more, it's going to be a hell of a lot stronger than 2. All right. So your stop's right there. Because there's 2 touches right there. Minus 10 cents. Because even price expands even on these. Novak's trying to break. And Novak's just trying to break. Myrna breaks or Novak breaks, whatever breaks first, the other will follow. Etsy's trying to break again, another add to it. SWKS is pushing. D-Dog kind of flat top. When it breaks, it'll have a nice push up until that gap. SQ, let's pull up SQ because what was resistance can now be support. So let's pull this up. There's a 5-minute chart. I'll pull it up for the season to see it hit it. I'm going to take pivot, price expansion. Because when price comes up, it does one of 2 things. It's a strong trend, it won't even come close. Sometimes it'll touch it. Sometimes it'll expand through it and then go higher. Sometimes it'll come up and reverse completely, you know, especially after 11. So you want to be aware of all scenarios so you know how to react. Yeah. So say price, you know, here's what's trying to get out. Say price wicked up, it does wick up here, breaks through, retest it like it's doing it on this candle here, retest it, it can go short as soon as it crosses this below these candles here. So if something reverses against you, you gotta know when to get out. Let's find the strongest support resistance level on this thing here currently. Pretty strong one right here. The next one is right here. It's the strongest one right there. That's 10 cents.
Looks like Roblox is starting to have that little pullback.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That pivot needs to hold. Stop on that is 85.35. We set their stops on the best support or the best placement. And if it breaks through there, it's best to cut it immediately. And you might be able to get 5 cents below that. Let's pull a 15 up there. It's easier to see. I think it is anyway. So right here on this level is the strongest support. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touches. If it breaks through there, there's a problem. There's a major problem. So looks like this. It comes up. Comes up. It'd be nice if it can test it. It don't have to. And then goes higher. This is breaking and retest. What's your strongest support resistance level? And the reason I'm doing that too is, you know, if price breaks through this area, what will happen a lot of times is it'll just start chopping. So it breaks out. It can break to the bottom or it can break to the top. When something goes back through chopping or range, we have no idea which way it's going to go. It can go either way. That's why it's safe to hop out. If you're long something, something's chopping, a lot of times when it comes back up and tries to come up but fails to make a new high, so here's the high. The price comes down, bounces, but then it comes up and it, even if it's by a penny, it fails to make a new high even by a penny, but it soon starts to come back down. And say it eventually comes down and then it finally does break out, I'll re-enter after I get confirmation. Because it can very easily break through. Now I'm chasing it, now I'm red. And I could have been green. Etsy, boy, I tell you what. Etsy and BA just ain't stopping. What a beautiful day. Absolutely gorgeous. And Etsy, I think Etsy does big things this week too. I say we have a maybe a red day tomorrow on Etsy, BA, and then the rest of the week they start pushing out. Etsy BA beast mode. And Roku's pushing down here. AMD's pushing down.
BA is right at anchored VWAP for the day and the week.
Yeah, BA's at target right now. So if you're in BA, I'd go ahead and sell the shit out of it right this second. Price pushes up to 50-60. So that's my target.
Yep, you're right. And see, I mean, it still has to get out of that last week's inside week, and then this month's still inside. So I mean, it could do either way. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Yep. So what I like to do is, as it's pushing to this, I sell. So I'm out of mine. But what I'll do now is, as it came up to target, so I'm out of BA. What I'll do now is I'll wait till I get a break above it, some kind of retest, and I'll push up. And the reason I like selling there because price can come up, double top, and then come back through. Sometimes it'll push straight through it though. So.
Right, but you're profitable when you do that. You're guaranteeing profit, and then if it goes again, you just get back in.
That's it. That's exactly right. Yeah. And also, I'm selling at the top of the ask too. So, but you know, I know there's a good chance you can go through, and it could also, you know, it could also wick through it and then come back through range. Because as of now, all this is still a compound inside bar. Every bit of this. So
right.
Range. So it can do anything. And let me show you here. Here's expansion from pivots. So it could come right there. Could come to right here and bounce. Reverse. Who knows? But
nope, that's how you're you know, guaranteeing your profits or building up your profits. You know, you're not being greedy.
That's it. You can't never be greedy. That'll hurt you so much. And the reason my profits taken is there is because I've seen it so many times come up right at the target, man, and just turn around and bounce and go back down. It's the craziest thing.
Oh yeah, me too. Being greedy, and you scream at yourself too. That's why I don't like it. So, yeah. I've learned from you on this. You know, it's like just don't be greedy. Just
re-enter. You can just re-enter the damn thing. Here's another thing too is as price comes up, Etsy's still pushing here. as price comes up to this target here too, I'll sell before it gets to it. You know what I'm saying? I'll join the ask. I'll get out before it gets to it. And that little spike that you get, sometimes that spike makes up for that gap right there. You see what I'm saying? If you're joining ask.
Man, the lady's moving in on Sunday.
What's that?
Now I agree, especially in those higher price names too. That's an extra $100-200 sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, especially on shopping Amazon. Like you can literally be in a few seconds, especially at open, man. Shit, at open, dude, it's not unusual to catch. I've caught like $600 before on shop.
Oh yeah, for shop or Google or Amazon. Oh yeah, even more. You're right, $600+ Yep.
It's incredible. So yeah, some people, they worry about the spread. If you're new to trading, you should be, but man, I use it to my full advantage. I love it.
Hey Jerry, this is Mish. What I've been doing is just going long 2 contracts of inexpensive options about at the money. I'm staying out of stuff like shop. If it's a $10 or $11 option, I can't do it. If it's got a really low volume or big bid-ask spread. Yeah. And I've been doing on the higher volume ones, I've been doing some 5-point spreads and getting nice little percentages out of them.
Nice. That's
so
really
today has been a super good day. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And I'm
yep.
with you on that.
And you see how those percentages add up quick too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm cutting my losses really quickly. Like I'm in an Apple spread, which is not doing anything. I'm thinking about getting out of it. By the way, Tesla's starting to move a tiny bit on the 15.
Yeah, I still like Tesla. But Myrna just broke, Novak's broke too. But you're right. And another thing you're doing good is you're starting with small size. If the trade goes against you, if the trade is bad or whatever, I mean, it's a small loss with a couple of trades or with a couple of options.
And I'm scaling out one at a time. So I'll take a percentage off of one and then with the other one go a little bit further. And I've been setting targets a little bit above, but below the pivots and trying to exit that way too, getting on a slight range expansion, get out.
Myrna's long here. Exactly. Yep. I agree with you 100%. And that's the way, it's best to take small profit here and a small profit there and a small profit here. Because they really
and before you know it, you'll be able to do that on shop, on names like shop and things like that. And then you're like, see, it's just the market's open 300+ days a year. It'll always be open.
Yep. Build your capital. And that way you can get those bigger options and stuff. But really, the less time you're in these things, the less risk. So, a lot of times I'll be in shop or Amazon for less than a minute.
Man, I'm up over 100% on Marna today alone. Over 100% already.
Guys, on the 5-minute here, I want to show you something. We talk about all the time, but the longer consolidation, the bigger the break. And this right here just shows you. It tried to break through this pivot right here numerous times. It acted as a wall. You can see it's plain as day. It came up to it within a penny a bunch of different times. When it finally had no strength to break through there, it moved $9. Right? So you sit and you wait on the breaks. Right? Very important. You can literally trade a flat top break or a retest, and that's all you would ever have to trade. That's the only strategy you would ever have to trade. All right? That's it. All the big traders and stuff, man, this is their bread and butter, flat top break. And this is why, look at this thing. It's moved $10 in a few seconds.
Hey, Jerry, do you subscribe to the theory that with that long choppiness, that long range, that there's a measured move the same distance?
I've heard of people talk about that, but I'm not really sure.
Okay, all right, just curious. I don't believe it. I just, wondering.
Yeah. I'm always open to new ideas, though. So we see Myrna breaks and then Novak's breaks. And I actually believe Novak's led the break this time, then Myrna followed. I keep these stickers side by side. They follow each other pretty damn close. It's crazy. Tesla's trying to make a move here, too. So if you're in Myrna, take profits. Because a lot of times on these big breaks like that, they'll end up giving some of it back. Because it stairs up, elevator down. I've noticed a lot of times on a big break like that, they'll end up giving it back. It don't mean it can't keep going, but if you're new, it's best to pull some profits off that one.
Right. See, and right now it's right at the flip. So let's see if it keeps going. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's $10, man, in 5 minutes. Shit, better gonna do that or they might.
Yeah. It's like, and what is it today? About $50, almost $60.
61. Yeah, we've been in that thing since.
It's this morning when we first called it out. Yeah.
Yeah, called it out at 4:33. And multiple ads. Multiple ads. Yeah, somebody else brought it up.
I only did one ad, but yeah, there's multiple places you could have added. I just did one.
Yeah, safe. It's just still ripping. B8's fixing to go long again. What a day, man. Etsy's just like straight up. A lot of good tickets. Yeah, Murder breaks 471.50 be long again. Novax, you just gotta pick one. I like Novax because it's filling that gap right now. There's nothing to stop Novax from just shooting straight through.
Jerry, question about, I just got out of a call with Goldman Sachs, and I got out on the upswing and I had a good profit, but my question is, I have had the occasion where I have not gotten out on an upswing and I've actually lost money, even though I'm up quite a bit. Not lost money, but I've lost money, it seems, in the profit. Can you explain why you have to get out on an upswing?
You know, I don't know, but I'll tell you this, every time when price is pushing up, it's weird with options. Price pushes up, the price moves up slowly. But as soon as it goes against you, man, the bottom rips out instantly. So any kind of down tick, it just takes the profits away so quick. So it takes a long time to build a profit in an option. But as soon as it goes against you, the bottom just falls out very rapidly. I don't know why that is.
And it's also got NVAX.
NVAX is nice. But Goldman Sachs, yeah, it's still pushing. It broke through that pivot and retested, so it should keep going up here. I don't know why. I can't explain it.
Just got out.
Hey, Jerry, right now on Novax, it hits a volume shelf right now, right above this part. There's hardly any supply. This thing could really go.
Novax is filling that big gap too. Etsy's still long here, added to it. But I think Goldman Sachs is going to break 304.30 and keep going. Yeah.
Stuff at all.
Why does it do that? Why do the options do that? Does anybody have an answer for them?
I think it's how they price them, but I can't explain it either.
I know as soon as it goes against you, boy, it goes down rapidly in value.
Yeah, it's something with implied volatility.
What happens is there are a lot of people buying options like on Myrna, and end up happening is that the market maker's got to be delta neutral. So if they buy a 50, delta call, and then the next thing you know, it starts going up, they got to buy more shares as the price goes up in order to stay delta neutral. It just causes the price to keep rising.
Myrna moved $14 in 10 minutes.
Yeah, see, and look, you protected it right at that flip and it's still going. But you protected it.
Jerry, check BA on the 30-minute time frame. Man, it touched the pivot twice, and now it's pulling back on the 30-minute.
Crazy, isn't it? That's why I love taking profits right when they touch it. Right before they get to it. Because you always want to sell in the spring. So as price is pushing, you got a lot of people chasing it, right? So then when you sell it, you catch the very top of the ass, and you'll catch, sometimes I sell $1 away, sometimes I might sell 50 cents away, but that extra spike makes up for it. So I'm catching, I'm the very top of the spread. I'm on the top of the ass. And say you hit the pivot and it starts to pull back on you, right? Automatically you got to sell at the bid. So now if it's a 50-cent spread or 20-cent spread, you gave up $20 and now you're chasing the bid. So you gave up 30, $40 instantly.
Look, Marna's still going, no fiber against.
Marna's crazy. Yeah, so if you pull up the 30 on BA here, our target was a 60 and rejected 3 times. That's very bearish. Very bearish.
And it looks like topping tails on the 15, right?
Yep, yeah, 15, 30. It doesn't matter. All the pivots line up the same. But this right here just shows it better. We target a pivot on a 60, which this is the same pivot, but here we got more candles. So you can see it pushed up, rejected. It's actually a break. It's actually a retest to the downside here. So if it breaks the low of this candle right here, it's short. The target is going to be right here. It's safer to go short when it crosses the low of this candle here, 230 tick, because it's now a triple top or a double top on the 60. So look, if it fails to go through, it's only got one direction to go, and that's down. Right? So that's how we can take it up one way and then back down the other way. And again, target's always going to be the pivot. So we can target the pivot low on the 30. And, if it breaks through there and then retest the downside here, we'll take it short again. If it breaks through a little bit, pulls back up, retests, and then goes back up, we'll take it back to the top. But you never be afraid to take it both directions ever. The pivot on the 15 lines up too. It's the beauty of these pivots. You got to be mindful of every time frame and every pivot on every time frame, because each time frame will have different pivots as well, and they're just as important. Right? A pivot on the higher time frame has got more strength and more relevance than a pivot on a lower time frame, but you've got to be aware of all. All right, the way price reacts. So this is the pivot 15. So there's a couple things that could happen here. Right? Price comes up, see it reject off that, came back up, actually hit target. Now it's short. It's short right now, but the only problem is it went short here. The problem is the target's only 50 cents away. Now it could come up, retest, and then go back higher. Now, in order to take this thing long, it's got to break the high of these candles. In order to take this thing short, it's got to break the low of this candle here, which gets us below the pivot. All right, so it's going to get below this candle wick here. And on top of that, we want to see some kind of pullback and close below this thing. All right. If that pullback to the downside or to the pivot, to the upside, is below this wick here, that's fine. It's even better. All right. And you would target each individual candle, ultimately targeting the pivot low as price expands, because really all this is, every bit of this right here, is a chop. It's a range. And, some people say you can't trade inside bars or compounds or whatever inside. Yeah, you can, if you know what you're doing. Another thing is you got to have enough range in here. It's about $8 a range. So as long as enough money can be made in there and it's pretty clean, you can trade it. Etsy, not stopping. Myrna's, not stopping. All day.
Yep, about what, 150% on Marna now?
Oh yeah, I'm shit time. I had to start getting the 445 calls. I've got a bunch of 435s and 445s.
I got the 440s.
Hey, Jerry, you talked about a pullback on roadblocks for a reentry.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be the pivot?
Yeah, it'd be the pivot, yeah.
All right, thanks.
I'll pull that down. You're welcome. Yeah. Now,
Jerry, what's the ticker on Roblox?
RBLX. So
Thank you.
Romeo Bravo Lima X-ray. Romeo Bravo Lima X-ray. Let me pull up Roblox right quick because there's a stop right here.
And Tesla's starting to move up a little bit.
Nah, it's got a hammer on it. Roblox stop was right here. Its next stop is right here. Anything inside this right here is a chop. So what it's doing right now, Roblox is chopping right here. If it bounces, let me say this, anytime you get outside these range right here, it's safer. So it really needs to be outside of here or outside of here. And on top of that, for this thing to keep being bullish, it needs to keep making higher lows and higher highs. It's in a channel. So it really needs to hold this area right here. And hopefully it starts to bounce and come back up. If you're going to take it long or add to it, you need to wait till it crosses this high right here. And really, if it crosses this low right here, this tweezer bottom, I would probably cut it, because if it crosses there, there's a pretty good chance it comes down to here. Etsy's due for a nice pullback here. So let's pull up Etsy real quick. You also, after you've been trading for a while and watch these tickers and stuff, you get a good gut feeling of when these things are due a pullback. And I say Etsy's probably due for a pretty good pullback right about now. So if you're in it, I would tighten my stops up. So let's I'm gonna put a line right here. So it's permanent. I say we start to pull back pretty hard. It actually hit target, which is right here. And the reason I call targets on the top of these bigger accounts, first, price can quickly push through them. And on top of that, there's a bunch of resistance right here. See all these candles lined up? This whole area is major resistance. All right. The target on this thing was right here. And you see it hit our zone, it's rejecting. It could double top right here and then start to come back through range. All right. See, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 touches right here. You want to know about that in the trade. All right. You want to be very mindful of any kind of support resistance. Not all the time they're gonna be marked by pivots. You're gonna have to look for them. Myrna's moved $17 since that break. Yeah, I think that's just
Yep, and it still might go some more here.
Dude, I'm up a month's payday on Myrna.
Yes, yes, sir. It wants more too, is what it's looking like.
It's not stopping. You see, look at the volume on this thing. It ain't gonna stop. And I'm telling you, somebody knows something. I'm telling you, the month and the week is absolutely ridiculous. Since this breakout right here, $200, it's moved $300 a month. I've never seen nothing like it.
Yep, and by the 440 calls, I mean the August 20th 440 calls. That's the ones I have. So I still have 2 more weeks. And they're already in parity. I mean, they're like, the delta's 100% on them already. That's just like that $100 Tesla day. Remember that?
That was an incredible day. Now it's like
that's like right when you first started too, right? That's what I remember.
We was killing it every day, wasn't we? Tell you what.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And you were still posting in Rob's room at that time too, and people were like, "What the hell is he doing?" Da, 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 da. I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh
yeah,
my God, look at this! Look at this!" Ad.
Yeah, they were. Some people were getting upset.
I know, but when you looked at it, you're like, "Holy shit! You're right. I should add."
Yeah, but testing that $100 day, man, it's like 2 or 3 entries, multiple ads. It's crazy. It's kind of like Myrna.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I wanted to add more. I just, I like to spread it around a little bit. Spread the risk around. But still, I'm happy with. I'm not going to complain.
It's a good day. And that's the thing, man. Today's really like a type 1 day. Pretty consistent, smooth price action. The market's choppy as a
Oh
whole.
yeah, every chart you've looked at today, the market's choppy, but these ones are smooth.
That's it. It's like I'm watching.
And that's for big and small accounts too, right? That's for big and small accounts too.
Yes, sir. Yeah, trying to feed everybody around here. Yeah, you caught some really good stuff today, man.
I try when I'm here. I try. Work gets me a little busy sometimes, but I just like everybody that contributes. Everybody contributes. That's the best part about this room.
That's exactly right. Everybody's here to help each other out, and that's the way it should be. We're just here trying to. I got to learn on Tesla here. Tesla's breaking consolidation. Now I'm still in some Tesla calls. I hope.
Hey, Nathan, keep an eye on SGMS. That had unbelievable earnings and it's starting to really go.
SGMS, all right.
Goes Tesla. Tesla just broke consolidation right here. Tesla's long right now. They're not in it. Still going to target that 720. First target's going to be 719.
Yeah, we were even talking earlier this month. Remember, we both said we like Tesla over 700.
Yes, sir. I still think it's going to do some really nice things, man, coming up. I really do.
Oh, it can. I mean, if you look at the try on it, it could go up to 1,000 or higher.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Look at those wicks on those months. Those are all tight stops. All it has to do is just find a natural buyer.
That's it. Yeah, and once this thing takes the monthly target for this month alone is 780. The month.
Right, that's almost $100. Right, that's almost $100 right there.
Yeah. And it's consolidating right now on top of the pivot on the daily. If it breaks 728, shit, this thing's going.
Yep, I bet if you pulled up, what is it, like April, January, like March, April, you would find all those tight stops in that monthly chart.
A bunch to take out. I want to be there when it happens. I was to roll over again.
Thank God Tesla's always on your list too.
I know, I love Tesla. And it's got a really tight spread too. Myrna, Momo Hammer.
Oh yeah, Marna's on stuff. And even people with smaller accounts on Tesla, I mean, when you're calling them out, they can catch those too, because Tesla's known to go a ton of money in a day, $100 or more.
Yeah, when it starts moving, easily with that much. And on top of that, you can literally buy a call that's pretty good out of the money if you have a smaller account and make a shit ton. You can make a $200 and on a call that's 10, 20 bucks out of the money.
Hey, Jerry,
Right, especially like on a Monday.
Jerry, can you look at FUBO, F-U-B as in boy, O? It looks like it's flat topping on a 30.
AMD's still pushing down here. Target's 15 pivot. Subo, Sam?
F is in Frank, F is in Frank, U, B is in Baker, O.
Boeing just came out with news that they rescheduled the Starliner for August.
One.
I just got a flash on that, so maybe that's what they were counting on.
On Fubo?
No, on BA. That's the Starliner capsule. They're talking about sending it back out. The mission was scrubbed about a week ago or something like that.
SQ's trying to break the high today. Fubo, let me see. Fubo needs to break at least that 28.60. Right now, it's in a really tight chop. Let me take a look at the week again. It's starting to curl right here on the weekly, trying to come back through. That 28.60 is going to be key on Fubo and the flat top. So look, when you break the flat top here at 28.30, there's a lot of resistance at 28.60. Shopify is almost a target here. It's 212.60. It says it 2, but it's really an inside candle. 212.60. If you look at Myrna on the 60, these candles are getting larger and larger and larger. Tell you what, Myrna's due for a nice pullback or a profit taking. And SQ just broke. So yeah, Fubo's a lot nicer over 28.60. And I'll show you why. I'd hate for you to get in at 28.20 break of that flat top, only for it to go up 40 cents and reject. So right here on this candle wick, right there, it is across that wick. And that wick actually comes all the way over here. Right? So the more time it touches, the stronger it is. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 touches right there. It's pretty strong resistance. Myrna, gosh. Shop's long here. Tesla's still trying to push.
Marna with that Tesla day.
I can't get over it, man. Roku's trying to tutu back up here. SQ's breaking. Nice. Dude, who said trading was hard? So it's easy.
Look, I'm up like 160% on options that expire 2 weeks from now in Marna.
Incredible. Yeah, I'm up over 200%.
Did you buy this week's?
Yeah, I bought this week.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, you got just killing it. I mean, oh.
Yeah, if I go to ad, I'm gonna have to start stepping down. I can't afford them anymore. Not that many.
I don't like buying the same weeks because you don't know, you never know if it's gonna really go or not. So I buy a couple weeks ahead, just to play it safer. And man, it doesn't matter if you catch a break like this. Look, it's gone up $70+ since we've talked about it.
Hey, Jerry, can you look at Shake, SHAK?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Myrna's a beast. Now, I exited earlier and got back in. Shake. Because the first time I showed, I was up about the same amount. Shake. It's okay. It's coming back through. There's some resistance right here at $90. What's the volume? Volume's decreasing a little bit. Just two back through that 30. Look at the higher time frames. Kind of chopping. It's flagging toward the bottom here as it comes down. Whenever you're looking at a ticker, always take a look at sometimes you don't see me checking the higher time frames out. Trust me, I know them all by heart. It's very important that you see exactly what price is doing in a general direction on the month and the week. And right now, Shake is kind of, if you look at it, it's at the $87 range. It's chopping sideways there between 87 and 111. It is trying to test off the daily, maybe come back through range. It rejects off of it, but it needs to break certain areas before it's really safe or ideal to get into. The thing is, if it breaks this $90 level, you still have to go through all this chop right here, which it's safer if you let it break $91. And really, to be honest with you, it's your best trade comes after 91.42. I'll pull up the time and show you.
Okay,
Even
thanks.
though it has, I'm sorry.
No, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, this setup has exactly what we're looking for: the reversal come back through range and the break. So you have everything down. It's exactly what we're looking for. But always look to your left to kind of see how much chop it has to go back through range. Because that's a beautiful set. It's a 3-1-2 continuation measure move, and it probably will come up through here. But when it gets to this range right here, price can do just about anything it wants to do. It's not very reliable. Even though it's moving, it's really nice. It really is. And it probably will come up to fill this gap right here. But I like the higher probability trades. Say the chop was right here on this side here, and it's pretty clean up on top. As soon as it breaks these wicks right here, it'd be long, because you're then up in a blue sky area. There's nothing there to stop it. In this area right here, anything can happen. Anything's possible. It could come up and reverse, and you come back through, and then make a higher high, and then come back down and make a lower high. Beautiful setup. It's a beautiful setup, but for clean left side. Shopify hit target here. Etsy pulled back pretty hard. I knew it was time for one. And Myrna too. Myrna is now due for a pretty hard pullback, guys. It's like a gut feeling thing. Just like on Etsy here. I knew it was ready for a good pullback. You can see it right there. It's like instinct. Myrna's probably due for a pretty nice pullback here as well. I say it's probably going to come back to at least 469, 470. Maybe it might not. Who knows? This has been pretty damn strong with that. Usually when I think there's exhaustion risk, I'll put a hard stop on. I'll tighten it up pretty hard. SQ broke high day, pushing up still. HD rolled up.
What do you think about CVS?
CVS?
Yeah.
To break the month, trying to recast, could go higher. Let's see what the wicks are at. Wicks all sitting about the same crashing over there. So it's a double bottom on the weekly. Yeah, you can see it right here on the daily. So it expanded a little bit, trying to come back up through. It's wicking out right here at the 82 level. If we can break above 81.60, we could say 82. That was too bad. All right, y'all, I'm gonna call it. So I'm gonna place hard stops on stuff. I might do a trailing stop on Mona here. But,
How much of a trailing stop you gonna put on? $5, $10?
Probably $5.
I like it.
and it'd be like a surprise. See how far we go. I later get stopped out.
Yeah, but look at that fiber. It's forming a hammer.
It's a beast. Tesla's trying to push up here too. So I'll probably come back in at 4:30, or not 4, but 3:30, 4 o'clock, kind of see where everything's at, if I'm still in it. Then I might go ahead and try to close it. I wouldn't want to
Riot
hold
and
it
Coin are pushing up.
Coin.
Yeah, and Riot.
Yeah, coin right now is 2260, trying to come back up. It's 2 down, 2 up. Thank you. Burger's gonna be high today. So coin's long right now. And coin, its target's gonna be 307.07. That's this month's target. Oh yeah, I'm gonna look at Hood. Hood usually, or these IPOs usually all do the same thing. Sometimes they'll start off pretty good, then they'll start to base. Then what you do is you wait on them to finish basing, and then hit it on the way back up. Hood, not much information, it's pretty new. Like you can see on the 4-hour here. Thumbs up, starting to kind of base. I need to break this level right here first before it does anything. It is making higher lows, but you know, these new ones, there's not that much information to go by. Novak is rolling over. Now you keep them up side by side because one usually leads and one usually lags. So Novak is rolling over, and I still think they're ready for a nice size pullback. Still calling it. It's like a gut feeling, I'm telling you, man, it's weird. So Novak's coming back right now. I say hopefully it stops at 211, which means Myrna's going to pull back with it. Hopefully Myrna stops at about 468. I don't want to get back that much. So I'll probably put a stop at about, it's hard to put exactly, we're going to set 475. I don't know if I want to get back that much. That's the thing, you got to give enough room to move, but hell, you don't want to get back to $10. It's $1,000 a contract. All right, y'all. I'm going to call it here. It's been a great day.
Have a good one.
You too. Thank you, guys.
See you, Jer.
Everybody, bye-bye.
Bye, y'all. We'll see you in the morning.
Hey, Corey, I like the SGMS too, just so you know.
Array. Somebody said, asked Array, do I show pre-market candles? No, I don't. I don't show them. I'm gonna go ahead and take profit on Myrna here. I don't want to give any back. I know it's due for a big old pullback. So I'm just gonna cut them. I told you. It's a gut feeling, man. I don't know how to explain it. But I called it. I called it a few minutes ago. I'm telling you, it's a gut feeling. It's like on Etsy. I said, I hope it goes back to 476 and stop. I'm being rude by eating. Look at it. Told you I called it, man. I'm telling you, it's fucking intuition. Hey, nobody can do that. Well, maybe somebody.
Jerry, you must have been a gypsy in your previous life, man. You got a crystal ball in front of you.
It's crazy on it, man. I'm telling you. I do it all the time. It ain't coincidence. I do it all the time. Even on Etsy.
No, that's what I mean. You're like a guru, you know.
Mm-hmm. I'm a real deal. Now, I saw a push on Novak, but I already knew they were exhausted. I was just saying that, so, because it was leading, and you can tighten your stops up pretty fast. That's a $13 drop. That'd been $1,300, man, if you weren't quick or weren't prepared. It's just from watching chart, just you know, I think it's just from watching charts and seeing how they react. Is all it is. But really, anybody can do it. Now, I gotta go. Yeah. If it's gonna stop, it should stop right here. Right here where it's at. It's the strongest support level. Right. Right here in this area. It should, if it's gonna stop, it'll stop right there. Bounce. And if it starts to bounce, it'd be a good buying point. Or, you know, I'm always thinking 3 steps ahead or more. Price comes down, it can pull back to the downside. All right. Remember, just because it's turning green, that means it's a reversal. It's either pull back to the downside here, or if it wants to bounce here, it can start to come back up. Again, you're not going to take this thing long till you get at least a pull back to the upside. That keeps you safe. So if it's going to reverse, you want at least one pullback to the upside. That's the reversal trend.
I was going to say, for anybody that has Thinkorswim, I have an anchored VWAP study now. I found it on some guy's Twitter the other day. If anybody uses that, I know Thinkorswim has VWAP, but if you want anchored VWAP, it's real easy to do if you guys want it.
Do you like it? Does it seem to help you a lot? Or
it just, I use it on the weekly and the daily. It just seems like a good, you know, if I like VWAP as it is. If just some people are really getting into anchored VWAP where they anchor it on the first day of the year, and it seems good. I finally found a study on it on Thinkorswim that somebody made. So yeah, I'll post it.
Spider or Benzinga or somebody start off with one or something?
Yeah, that's where it started was Trend Spider, and so I've been like trying to find one for Thinkorswim, and I finally did. So I mean, I'll post it in the room if anybody wants it. It's, you know.
That's cool. Myrna pulled back pretty damn hard too. All right, I'm out of here. You all have a good day. Be safe.
Does anyone know how to set up that link that I just posted in the general chat by chance? Corey, you still there?
Nathan, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Which ones are you in besides Myrna?
Hey, Myrna's going long again.
Break out above 79.80 at the longs.
Yeah. AA and CLF.
Who's that other person you say that gives you pretty good watch list in the morning? Nathan?
Oh, the Lauren Banker Chick 83.
So how do you spell it?
Hold on, I'll get on it real quick. It'll be at BANKER_L83, and you can see her on my Twitter feed. You can just I retweet her stuff a lot too.
What's your feed again? I forgot. Oh, Nathan something.
Mine's NL7. Yep, NL711 or for Twitter, and then just type in Nathan Lay. I'm sure you'll find it.
Okay, thanks.
You see it. You sent me a direct message the other day. So you should be able to look on that and then just get on my Twitter, and then you'll find her right there.
Hey, Nathan or Corey, this is Dan M. I posted a question in the general chat to everybody, and it's I think it's I don't know, it's a study or it's a filter or it's something that has certain columns set up. So you can see basically a time lapse like as a table and the volume and a number of columns, and then I got the script from that link I just posted there. You guys know how to set that up? Because it looks like it's very efficient the way it's set up.
Yeah, so if it's columns, that'll be in your left-hand side. I'd have to take a look at it. But yeah, if it's columns, it'll be in the left-hand side, and you got to get on settings.
Yeah, and I was trying to get into the settings little wheel of the columns to find the name of the additional columns that are downloaded by that script. Okay, but if you see the screenshot, I can't find those names in the column selection box on the left side to move them over to the right.
Oh, so if you push that gearbox on the columns and then you hit customize, you should bring up available items, right? And then you have to scroll down and find where you saved it as. And I think usually you save it as a study, and that's what gives it to you.
Is it a study, or is it the individual columns under the watch list gear settings?
So on the gear, push gear and then customize, and it should come up with available items.
Okay, let me check that out to see if I can get the gear.
Let's brush the teeth. A little more of this. A couple of bars.
Detach gadget. Okay. Let's detach gadget and see if we can see the.
Yeah, if you left click the gear button, it should come up with something called, it'll say customize. And then you hit that, and that's how you customize each column.
Okay, I see that little wheel, customize. Okay, got it. Available items. Okay, so the question is, based on that script, if you click on that link, you can see the script on that page. Do you know what the name of those columns are? I mean, I thought they were based on what the column headings are, like 5M for 5 minutes, but I can't find them.
All right, you'll have to give me a few minutes. But okay, but so on your available items, do you see where you saved it?
No, because I don't even know what the heck I'd be looking for. I'm trying to decipher the script. Do you see the screenshot of what it's supposed to look like on the column headers? I posted it in the general chat.
Okay, yeah, I see that screenshot. So, what happens is you name each one of those columns. So I don't know how you save the
script.
Yeah, but so each script you're gonna put in there, and then in the script, I think you probably have to change the name to like 15 minutes, or change the aggregation time to what do you want it. So if that 15 AM is probably 15 minutes aggregation time on that script.
Let me see let me find that script real quick and try to find it real quick and then see where the name